Hi everyone, please subscribe to my channel. Blood Immortal. See playlist for other chapters and novels. Join now our Telegram channel now and enjoy exclusive early access. t.me/blood_immortal_official. I do not translate the novels. Credits goes to original translator and author of the novel. I only make it as an audiobook so it would be easier to just listen while doing other things. Credits goes to the author of the novel. I convert stories to audiobook for mental health, for multitasking purpose, for accessibility and time saving. Listening to audiobook is also beneficial for people who have disability. It improves our listening skills and improve our English comprehension, vocabulary and other things. So, thank you for listening. Thank you and thank you very much for your support. Chapter 21. Legendary Weapon, 9-5 Red Brick. Last night he did something bad, so Lin Fan felt a little sad within his heart. But this was only temporary. Upon exiting his house, Lin Fan's heart sudden rose. Aside from the outer sect's top 10 geniuses holding some potential, the others were essentially nothing. But no matter how small the fly, it was still meat. Though they couldn't provide open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket with any more experience points, they could still properly provide open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket with some. When Lin Fan arrived at the dining hall, he glanced about with his bright eyes. I wonder what I might run into today. I am rather looking forward to it. Oh, at this time, Lin Fan saw a situation up ahead, his heart leaping with joy as he waved towards his experience farm. Lin Fan quickened his pace, giving a shout, "My fellow two brothers, don't argue. I will help you resolve the issue." After hearing Lin Fan's words, the two arguing disciples glanced over and became scared out of their wits. Hurry, it's that guy. Recently, many fellow brothers have fallen to him. The previously arguing two people at this point acted like friends that hadn't seen each other in days. They grabbed each other by the shoulders and instantly retreated, not even bothering to wait for the calling Lin Fan and just hastily ran away. FCK, seeing the scene in front of him, Lin Fan became speechless. What's with them? Lin Fan sighed while shaking his head. This situation had caught him totally off guard. But Lin Fan's heart was very strong, one failure wouldn't be able to stop his advance. Lin Fan ran forward once again, looking for more opportunities. Though the outer sect disciples area was rather peaceful, arguments and fights still would break out quite often. So Lin Fan wasn't afraid that he would have nothing to do. Currently, Lin Fan's eyes lit up again as he bounded forth, but this time, Lin Fan played it smart and waited until he was in front of the two people before asking. But then something that made Lin Fan feel a bit hurt happened. The two people's expression immediately changed after seeing Lin Fan, as if they had just met a ghost. Crazy peach stealing demon, the disciples blurted out but immediately closed their mouth in fear, as if they had done something bad, and without another care instantly ran away. The previously excited Lin Fan couldn't help but have his expression changed upon hearing those words, displaying a bit of disbelief. November LPJNN. Crazy peach stealing demon, are those guys talking about me? You. Lin Fan's heart jumped with joy. How long had he been in the outer sect? I now finally have obtained a nickname. Crazy peach stealing demon, not bad, not bad. Just like that, whenever Lin Fan called out to the other party, they would always run away as if they had seen a ghost. Lin Fan also felt a bit helpless. Did his reputation perhaps really become this bad in the outer sect? This doesn't make sense. This doesn't make any sense at all. Later on that day, the previously excited Lin Fan was feeling utterly helpless. When the outer sect disciples saw him, they would always react like they saw a ghost. One glimpse at him and they would immediately run away. When other disciples saw him, their already calm expressions would become even more cautious, as if they were afraid their peaches would also be stolen. Lin Fan sighed. It looked like the methods he came up with wouldn't work on those outer sect disciples anymore. He would need to change his strategy from now on. Lin Fan then suddenly remembered the outer sect's top 10 geniuses. It seemed there was a need to go investigate them. These outer sect's top 10 geniuses, if their cultivation base was too high, then open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket might not be able to withstand against them. I need to take this slowly. If he could do it, then it would definitely be another wave of mockery. At night, Lin Fan stealthily sneaked outside. Since the sect's disciples had already gone to sleep, the outside was empty, which allowed Lin Fan to begin his path of forging. During the morning, Lin Fan thought of a problem. This profession perhaps had something to do with the material he exchanged. After all, how could a legendary weapon be formed with something like a single brick? So Lin Fan decided to experiment on this tomorrow. For tonight, he would just use these bricks to level up his blacksmith profession that was already level 7. Just a bit more effort tonight and he might be able to raise it to level 8. Lin Fan came to an unnamed disciple's house and made a promise that tonight he would definitely be careful and only dismantle the wall, not the entire house. Ding, congratulations on crafting broken tile piece, experience +1. Ding, congratulations on crafting a pile of useless clay, experience +1. The experience increased little by little as usual. The material was still just tile pieces or clay, but Lin Fan had already relaxed his heart. It was most likely what he thought of earlier about how trash material couldn't be used to craft anything good. The night sky was exquisite and the surroundings quiet, as Lin Fan worked away like a diligent little honeybee. One brick after another was tossed into the furnace. Once one side of the wall was dismantled, Lin Fan would switch to another. Ding, congratulations on crafting broken tile piece, experience +1. Ding, congratulations on crafting broken tile piece, experience +1. Once the sky started becoming brighter, Lin Fan would then stopped and quietly left. Tonight's speed was not bad, he had dismantled 4 walls. His blacksmith profession had already reached level 9, and the distance to leveling up again was quite short. Just when he was leaving, Lin Fan picked up the last brick, preparing to call it a night. Although profession might not seem like an important thing, Lin Fan had played games before, so he understood that professions were one of the most powerful existences. If he were able to raise it to the strongest level, then it would become something that could easily wipe the whole field clean. Lin Fan then threw the last brick into the furnace, not really paying any attention to it and prepared to leave. He understood that it would most likely just be another broken tile piece. Ding, congratulations crafted legendary weapon, 9-5 red brick. Ding, congratulations on crafting legendary weapon, blacksmith rank +1. Ding, congratulations, blacksmith upgraded to advanced blacksmith. Ding, congratulations on crafting legendary weapon, character experience +8 million. Ding, congratulations on unlocking character storage space. Lin Fan, who was preparing to leave, heard this notification and completely froze up. FCK, jackpot. Lin Fan couldn't believe this moment as if he were in a dream. He had already long given up on the bricks. After all, one would never be able to craft a diamond from a pile of clay. They were in 2 completely different categories. But Lin Fan became very excited at this moment. Just how many days, just how many bricks had he destroyed, and right at the moment he was prepared to return, a legendary weapon appeared. What was with this concept? This was God finally rewarding him. Lin Fan didn't think anything more and suppressed his excitement. He then began running. After all, he needed to return back and carefully inspect this. If he were to be caught here by some outer sect disciples, it would be difficult to explain. Inside the house, Lin Fan immediately closed the doors and then excitedly lied down on his bed. The blacksmith profession had a total of 10 levels and had now upgraded to advanced blacksmith. At the same time, it also gave him 8 million experience points. The experience he obtained from crafting a legendary weapon was even more than the time he consumed the Supreme Pill. This was completely unbelievable for Lin Fan. If it had just given 1 million more experience points, he would have broken through to the post-celestial stage. Once one attained post-celestial, they would have formally entered the path of cultivation. All the things one considered impossible before would become possible after entering the post-celestial stage. According to Hai, this character storage space was similar to the inventory spaces within games, and could be used to store things and such. Lin Fan felt that these were all good stuff. He rubbed his hands and began carefully inspecting the legendary weapon. Chapter 22. A weapon salesman is about to be born. Chapter 22. A weapon salesman is about to be born. 9-5 red brick, length 9 cm, width 5 cm, overall usage, the basic building structure for houses. Rank. Legendary weapon. Effects. 1 brick in hand can dominate the entire world, able to ignore all defensive capabilities. 1 hit on the head will 100% guarantee knockout for 1 minute, can repeatedly be used, not effective on other parts of the body. Description. This is a violation of equivalent forging, a legendary weapon that should be impossible to craft. Lin Fan was currently at a loss. Although this legendary weapon wasn't particularly on the strong side, its effects were way too fabulous. Just 1 smack on the head and 100% guaranteed knockout, and it could even be used repeatedly. This basically meant that in the future, if any unlucky fellow were to be smacked on the head by him, unless he stopped, the other person would never wake up. Especially the part about ignoring all defensive capabilities. Even if the world's scariest person were to show up in front of me, just one smack on the head and he would be at the mercy of yours truly. Strong. Way too strong. It was strong to the point where Lin Fan nearly wet himself. Lin Fan was a person with a high amount of curiosity. He had to test out the power of this brick for himself to see if it truly could ignore all defenses. His defensive power was already unusually high, so he wondered what would happen if he smacked himself on the head with it. Although this was seemingly stupid, Lin Fan had to experience it himself so he could get an accurate measure of its capabilities. Let's do it. Lin Fan held the 9-5 red brick up, judging the power and area, then clenched his teeth as he smacked it onto his own head. The instant the 95 red brick touched his head, Lin Fan felt as if he had heard something, then went unconscious and collapsed onto the floor with a thud. The last thought Lin Fan had in mind was, this legendary weapon really deserves to be called a legendary weapon. Definitely impressive. A minute later, Lin Fan woke up and rubbed his head. There was no pain, and just as the effects said, one smack on the head and guaranteed knockout. Where's my legendary weapon? Lin Fan looked around for his 9-5 red brick but realized that it had suddenly disappeared. This gave Lin Fan quite a scare. His hard-earned legendary weapon didn't just disappear from just that, did it? It was then that Lin Fan felt a brick within his bag and gave a sigh of relief. It turned out the 9-5 brick had automatically returned to its bag. What a scary moment. Since Lin Fan tested it out, he could confirm that the 9-5 brick didn't cause any harm towards the person, but a smack on the head and one would definitely faint. Lin Fan understood that for an expert what a minute of knockout could entail. Within a minute, one would have probably been killed hundreds of times already. But Lin Fan was troubled. Although this 9-5 brick is strong, who would be stupid enough to stand there and let you smack them? It looks like there is a need to think this one over. But to be able to craft a legendary weapon from a normal brick, this only made Lin Fan feel very satisfied. This was basically the feeling of achievement, just like obtaining a legendary drop from killing a lobby. It's a type of character. Lin Fan was euphoric and full of spirit. This kind of refreshing feeling is the best. Although he hadn't slept for an entire night, for a hard-working person like Lin Fan, sleep meant nothing. Since time was limited, he needed to make use of every second. Lin Fan now understood that the profession skill normally required equal exchange and would then craft raw materials into finished products. The final product would be better, and also at the same time there would also be a slight chance of a legendary weapon appearing. As for how much the probability was, needless to say, it was most likely tough. Lin Fan then flipped through his drawers to see if there was anything good within his room. As long as it was metal, Lin Fan would take it. After scavenging around for a bit, Lin Fan then placed all the scraps of metal he had gathered on the table. Although it wasn't much, Lin Fan still wanted to see just what could be crafted. Lin Fan directly tossed all the materials he gathered into the furnace. Ding! Discovered small amounts of craftable materials can craft 3 weapons, please choose the type. Great swords, axes, maces, daggers. Lin Fan looked through the types, and at the very least it ranged in the hundreds. Just looking at it was overwhelming. Luckily, there was another option in the back, random production. Without any hesitation, Lin Fan directly started random production, since these weapons were something he was just preparing to sell to the outer sect disciples. Lin Fan trusted his blacksmith rank. Since he had already reached advanced blacksmith level, who knew, maybe he might even be a master. It wasn't that Lin Fan underestimated those outer sect blacksmiths, their knowledge was immense, but the weapons they forged to a normal person were only slightly above average. Ding! Congratulations on crafting a low-grade sword, profession experience plus 100. Ding! Congratulations on crafting a low-grade mace, profession experience plus 100. Ding! Congratulations on crafting a low-grade great sword, profession experience plus 100. Lin Fan was full of joy. He was an advanced blacksmith after all. Even these scraps of metal could be crafted into low-grade weapons by him. Wasn't this quite impressive? According to Lin Fan's knowledge, the weapons the outer sect disciples possessed were all made by the outer sect blacksmith. The materials used were all high-quality metals, so compared to the scraps of metal Lin Fan used, they were far better. Yet, the weapons crafted weren't even graded weapons. To the dynasties outside, the weapons crafted by these blacksmiths might be considered legendary, but for people on the path of cultivation, these weapons were mere trash. To be more general, all non-graded weapons were complete trash. At this moment, Lin Fan remembered that the weapon senior brother Yin used was a sword. He then immediately grabbed a sword and ran towards the house of Yin Mo Chen. Bang bang, senior brother Yin, open the door. Currently, Yin Mo Chen, who had just awakened, smiled upon seeing the one who was knocking while saying, "Junior brother Lin, you sure woke up early today." For Yin Mo Chen, seeing junior brother Lin up this early was indeed actually a first. "Senior brother Yin, where's your weapon?" Lin Fan asked. "Over there." Yin Mo Chen was puzzled as to why junior brother Lin asked this. But he still gave a truthful reply. All the outer sect disciples obtained their weapons from the outer sect blacksmith. Although they were all non-graded weapons, for outer sect disciples, they were more than enough. After all, graded weapons were rare treasures. Unless the sect rewarded one or a disciple provided his own materials, it was impossible to attain one. "Junior brother, what's with all the hurry?" Yin Mo Chen asked in puzzlement. Lin Fan didn't reply and instantly rushed in. He drew out senior brother Yin's sword and clashed it together with the sword he crafted. Clang! Just like Lin Fan expected, senior brother Yin's sword was sliced into 2 pieces. Lin Fan tested out its feel, which was like slicing through clay. Senior brother Yin's sword felt like clay and offered no resistance. The puzzled senior brother Yin instantly collapsed to his knees upon seeing the current scene. At this time, Lin Fan was utterly delighted. "Senior brother, I will give this sword to you. In return, I will be taking these scraps of metal." Lin Fan then tossed the sword he had just crafted to senior brother Yin, then grabbed the 2 broken pieces of senior brother Yin's sword before hastily retreating. Yin Mo Chen watched Lin Fan dumbfoundedly. How was junior brother Lin's sword that strong? He then carefully inspected the sword junior brother Lin had tossed to him and instantly gasped. Shining sharply, this was a low-grade sword. Junior brother. Yin Mo Chen immediately came back to himself. Such a precious weapon, how could junior brother give this to him? But when Yin Mo Chen chased after him, he saw junior brother Lin close the door with a slam and from inside a few words travel out. "Senior brother, don't disturb me. I am very busy right now." Chapter 23. Isn't this a loss? Chapter 23. Isn't this a loss? In the outer sect dining hall, there was a rumor of a crazy peach-stealing demon appearing there recently, who targeted the peaches of arguing brothers. This made many outer sect disciples fear for themselves, not knowing when the crazy peach-stealing demon would target them. And lately, many strange incidents have been occurring in the outer sect. In a single night, entire walls were stolen. This made everyone wonder who in the world would go and steal bricks. Some disciples feared they would end up like Fang Han, waking up and discovering their entire house had disappeared. So before going to sleep, they would set up bells around their walls. If the wall demolition thief appeared and triggered the traps, they would be sure to capture him on the spot. "Guys, be careful, the crazy peach-stealing demon has come." At this moment, the peaceful outer sect dining hall broke into an uproar because one disciple had discovered that the crazy peach-stealing demon was heading their way. Several outer sect disciples had suffered his attacks and had been reduced to lying in their rooms for the entire day, unable to move. This kind of pain was completely unbearable for an ordinary person. Lin Fan, who was carrying a big bag, walked over from afar. To the fellow brothers that were avoiding him, Lin Fan paid them no heed, because he believed in a few moments they would all come running over to him begging and revering him as a treasure. Lin Fan then came to an empty spot next to the dining hall entrance and lowered the bag he was carrying. He then took out a banner from within his chest and tied it to one of the entrance pillars. "Those who are passing don't miss out. Lower graded weapons flash sale." Lin Fan stood there and shouted. The surrounding outer sect disciples saw him crazily shouting and expressed their disdain, but upon hearing the words, "lower graded weapons flash sale," they all became enticed. At this point, though the surrounding outer sect disciples were attracted by Lin Fan's words, not a single person dared to step forth to ask, as they were afraid that upon being attracted over, their peaches would be stolen. Lin Fan shouted with all his might, and seeing that he had caught everyone's attention, he nodded in satisfaction. But a certain matter left Lin Fan speechless. Why aren't any of these guys coming forth? Perhaps low-grade weapons aren't attractive enough. Lin Fan knew that for outer sect disciples, possessing a graded weapon was an extremely impressive feat. Lin Fan refused to accept this and started glancing around, then found a disciple who was standing near him. "You, come here," Lin Fan beckoned. That disciple froze for a bit and retreated a few steps in fear, but Lin Fan did not give him a chance and directly went forth and started dragging him. "Come with me." Lin Fan wanted to make this guy believe his words. "No, senior brother, I just entered the outer sect a few days ago. Please don't steal my peach." The outer sect disciple dragged by Lin Fan was scared stiff. Although he had just entered the outer sect, he was familiar with the dining hall's infamous crazy peach-stealing demon. Lin Fan rolled his eyes, not caring how this junior brother cried or begged, and directly dragged him in front of his stand, then removed the sect weapon on his back. Everyone take a look, behold, this is the weapon made by the outer sect blacksmith. Lin Fan held the weapon up high while shouting and then picked up a sword from his stand. Now look over here, this is a lower graded weapon. You are about to witness a miracle, so don't blink. Lin Fan glanced at the outer sect disciples whose interest he had attracted and smiled. I refuse to believe you all aren't interested. Watch carefully, Lin Fan shouted out as the two swords clashed. Clang, the sword crafted by the outer sect blacksmith was instantly sliced into two pieces, as one piece fell to the ground nosily. How's that? There are only 3, to the highest bidder. Lin Fan then threw the other piece of the broken weapon onto the ground before returning to his stand, awaiting everyone to rush up. Senior brother, my sword. The junior brother who saw his weapon being sliced into two by his senior brother was about to cry. Your sword is my sword. Lin Fan replied with indifference. It was then that the surrounding outer sect disciples who were watching all came rushing forth crazily. They had all seen clearly what had just happened. The weapon crafted by the outer sect blacksmith had been easily sliced in half as if it was slicing through clay. At the same time, the sword gave off a shiny and sleek appearance. It was obviously a graded weapon from one glance. Junior brother Lin, how are you selling this sword? Junior brother Lin, you name a price I'll buy it. At this moment, seeing the outer sect disciples scrambling in front of him, Lin Fan let out a bright smile within his heart. I already said yours truly would become a hot commodity. It was difficult to rely on them to level up now, so he could only rely on medicine. When yours truly reaches post-celestial and applies for admission into the inner sect, at that time this entire world will be mine to enjoy. At the same time, Lin Fan also expressed deep resentment for these despicable disciples who hadn't broken through to the post-celestial stage yet. It's because of these guy yours truly has such difficulty leveling up. The heaven-piercing sword, starting off at 30 circulation pills, goes to the highest bidder. Lin Fan held up the sword in his hand and shouted. The heaven-piercing sword, what a good name. Such domination, I must have this sword. I bid 31 pills. HMPH, only 31 pills and trying to get a lower graded weapon. In your dreams, I bid 40 pills. 45 pills. 50 pills. Seeing his fellow brothers fiercely bidding away, Lin Fan gave off a brilliant smile within his heart. Just slightly fix up a pile of scrap metal and I can then sell it. This is such a steal. I bid 100 pills. As soon as this person shouted out 100 pills, everyone went silent. The outer sect disciples were able to collect 30 circulation pills each month. Though the circulation pill was a common item in the outer sect, because it was a pill that assisted with training, many disciples usually just ate them all within the days. So, very few disciples saved up that many. 150 pills. Lin Fan glanced at the disciple that bid 150 pills. He had never seen him before. Although he stood there calmly, Lin Fan could tell from his eyes the desire he had for this sword. Though Lin Fan had only been in the sect for more than a year, he still understood one thing. In this world, everyone only cared about one thing. There was no end to cultivation, to begin with, so who would spend time cultivating something else? Cultivators were cultivators, blacksmiths were blacksmiths, alchemists were alchemists. Cultivation didn't have much to do with becoming the last two unless one was one of those top-level experts whose cultivation base had already reached a certain level and couldn't go any further in the meantime. Only then would one usually focus on other areas. Though the Saint Devil sect was a big sect, they still couldn't provide every disciple with a graded weapon. 200 pills. 250 pills. The bidding became very intense. Lin Fan realized many disciples weren't bidding and were only silently standing there watching. It seemed like they were waiting for the next weapon. 1,000 pills. And at this time, a man wearing white robes who was standing far away slowly walked over. The expressions of the surrounding outer disciples changed instantly upon seeing this person. Then everyone stepped aside, opening a path while staring in awe. It's senior brother Yi, one of outer sect's top 10 geniuses, Yi Zhongyu. Looks like there is no hope for us. Since senior brother Yi has bid, there is no room for us. If we continue, senior brother Yi will take offense. Many onlooking outer sect disciples understood that this lower graded weapon now had a master. But at this moment, Lin was thinking of one problem: isn't this a loss for me? Chapter 24. My fellow two brothers, hurry up, smash me to death with your circulation pills. Chapter 24. My fellow two brothers, hurry up, smash me to death with your circulation pills. At this time, Lin Fan was ecstatic. A big shot had arrived. Yi Zongyu was one of the outer sect's top 10 geniuses. His worth was most likely very high. Able to get within the top 10 of over 8,000 outer sect disciples, he was definitely not bad. Currently, among the outer sect's top 10 geniuses, Lin Fan had only met Meng Yongchong, whose cultivation base was a 6th level paracelestial, yet he still pretended to be a pig roaming in the beginner's zone. Lin Fan was really grateful he had this system that allowed him to see any person's cultivation base. Otherwise one day he might really be swallowed by that fake pig Meng Yongchong. Your sword, I will buy for 1,000 pills. Yi Zongyu's white robes fluttered about, his mighty presence and prideful aura could be distinguished in one glance. Senior brother, though a price of 1,000 pills is very high, we still need to see if there are any other competing prices. Though Lin Fan naturally knew he was one of the outer sect's top 10 geniuses, he pretended to not know. If he ended up messing up his flow and ended up getting decimated by this guy, who would he go cry to? HMPH, not even knowing who senior brother Yi is. Wang Tianfang, who was unfriendly towards Lin Fan, snorted coldly. Yi Zongyu smiled and confidently said, I believe my price is the highest. Among the fellow brothers here, no one will be able to offer more than me. Yi Zongyu was very confident and looked around, making the surrounding disciples sigh. Although 1,000 circulation pills were a lot, it was not like no one had more. It was all because of Yi Zongyu's position. Naturally, they couldn't offend one of the sect's top 10 for a fleeting interest. Lin Fan smiled and glanced at Yi Zongyu. Above his head floated the words 6th level post-celestial. To Lin Fan, the cultivation base was just a little bit high, but compared to Meng Yongchong, the difference was still huge. And he had already reached post-celestial but still remained in the outer sect, yet another stubborn person. When an outer sect disciple reached post-celestial stage, they could become an inner sect disciple. But this option was entirely voluntarily. Some outer sect disciples still refused to leave the outer sect even after reaching post-celestial stage because upon entering the inner sect, all their fellow disciples would have high cultivation bases, so it wouldn't be as relaxing as in the outer sect. Although the training resources differed vastly, for some stubborn people, they would rather be a chicken's head than a phoenix's tail. A bit later, under a certain roof, two figures stood there silently. The female was incredibly beautiful like a celestial maiden, while the male devilishly handsome but also a bit cold. Senior brother Meng, the lust and streak of that sword, it's so pretty. The eyelashes of the woman fluttered as she gentle whispered with a delicate demeanor. Junior sister, since you like it, your senior brother will, of course, satisfy your desire. The icy demeanor of the cold-looking man melted when facing the woman. His expression brightened, and his eyes became filled with the color of love. Senior brother Meng, it's not worth upsetting Yi Zongyu over this mere lower-graded sword. Ni Mingyang, who was standing behind those two, said carefully. Mingyang, no need to say so much. It's fine as long as junior sister Chunu likes it. Meng Yongchong's mind had already been made up. Ni Mingyang didn't say anything more as he looked at the wrinkled brows of Chunu. She is essentially a succubus. Senior brother Meng's entire future has been destroyed by this succubus. Senior brother Meng's decision couldn't be changed clearly, so Ni Mingyang also became speechless. Just how did a talented person like senior brother Meng get to know a succubus like her? Senior brother does all he can to raise his cultivation base, but this Mu Chunu trash just won't advance and has remained stuck at 4th level precelestial. The amount of medicinal pills senior brother prepared, even if one were a pig, they would have long reached post-celestial level. Just when Yi Zongyu was certain this lower-graded weapon would be his, a faint voice came from far away. 2,000 pills. The surrounding disciples were all startled. Senior brother Yi had already named his price, and now someone dared to bid against him. Did they perhaps have a death wish? But upon seeing the bidder, everyone became even more shocked. No one had expected to see senior brother Meng. Ranked number 1 of the sect's top 10 geniuses, senior brother Meng. Yi Zongyu frowned slightly, looking to see who dared to compete against him. But upon seeing the person, his expression immediately changed. At this point, Lin Fan's heart was bursting with joy. The head big shot just appeared. Junior brother Lin, you. Ni Mingyang followed senior brother Meng, and seeing that the person conducting the lower-graded weapons flash sale was his junior brother Lin, was surprised and also in disbelief. Oh, senior brother Ni. Lin Fan smiled. Junior brother Lin, this is a little unexpected. Ni Mingyang smiled at the moment. He was rather amazed towards junior brother Lin, who had somehow managed to obtain these lower-graded weapons to sell since he had just entered the sect recently. While Lin Fan was conversing with Ni Mingyang, Yi Zongyu also began conversing with Meng Yongchang. So senior brother Meng is trying to compete with his junior. Yi Zongyu was bitter inside but kept a smile on his face. Though the outer sect seemed rather calm, in truth, within the ranks of the sect's top 10 geniuses there had been quite a few fights. All the top 10 disciples had a rank, with Meng Yongchang steadily claiming the number 1 spot. While the remainder although appeared friendly on the surface, the infighting between them was actually rather fierce. Junior brother Yi is mistaken. Your senior brother isn't actually interested in the sword. Just that junior sister Chanu rather likes it, so I can only hope junior brother will endure the pain. Meng Yongchang said dismissively. Yi Zongyu glanced at the woman standing next to Meng Yongchang, his heart enraged. Being so enticed by a single woman, how is this self-discipline? It's just a disgrace to oneself. Senior brother Meng, junior sister Chanu already has a middle-graded weapon, the Jade Bell Dragon you gifted her. I believe she has no use for this lower-graded sword. So how about letting me have it? Although Meng Yongchang had already spoken, Yi Zongyu refused to concede. I already have to be under you in rankings, don't expect me to let you on other things. Meng Yongchang shook his head, in that case, the highest bidder shall have it. Lin Fan had been talking with senior brother Ni but at the same time still kept an ear on the two people's conversation. Upon seeing them coming to a disagreement, Lin Fan's heart became even more joyful. It's good they came to a disagreement. Only then can I earn more profit. I already said this before, professions were where all the money came from. 3,000 circulation pills, junior brother Yi, go ahead with your bid. Meng Yongchang said with a smile. Yi Zongyu's expression was livid. For the 6th level post-celestial Yi Zongyu, he didn't actually have any need for a lower-graded weapon. It was just in his earlier years he had fallen down a cliff and managed to come across a manual containing a mysterious martial skill. The cultivation of this martial skill didn't require him to train his body but instead needed him to absorb various graded weapons into his body. Named Open Double Angle Bracket Infinite Swords Close Double Angle Bracket. This lower-graded sword at most was only worth around 3,000 circulation pills. If he continued to bid, it wouldn't be worth it. But at this point, they weren't merely just competing for a sword anymore, they were competing for their pride. Especially when Yi Zongyu saw the bland expression on Meng Yongchang's face, he became further enraged. Lin Fan at this point brushed aside Ni Mingyang and awaited the upcoming storm. My fellow two brothers, please hurry up, smash me to death with your circulation pills. Chapter 25. Senior brother, you may not insult my intelligence. Chapter 25. Senior brother, you may not insult my intelligence. 3,500 pills. Yi Zongyu had been one of the sect's top 10 geniuses for many years, so the amount of circulation pills he possessed is quite numerous. Although the lower-graded sword wasn't worth that much, Yi Zongyu didn't care anymore in order to maintain his pride. The surrounding outer sect disciples watching the current scene were all in amazement. This kind of situation was a first for some people. This was a fight between the sect's top 10 geniuses. Even if they wanted to see one, it wasn't that easy to come across. Lin Fan stood to the side in a good mood. The more fiercely the two competed, the better for him. 4,000 pills. Meng Yongchang said causally. Circulation pills were a necessary medicinal pill for the newly initiated in order to train. But for Meng Yongchang, whose true cultivation base was at the 6th level paracelestial, they meant nothing. 4,500 pills. Junior brother Yi, as competing like this is meaningless. I will bid 10,000 pills. The two had been slowly raising their bid, but Meng Yongchang felt that this was a waste of time. He directly went straight to 10,000 pills. Lin Fan, who was standing to the side, nearly wet himself after hearing this. One pill was 100 experience, 10,000 pills would be 1 million experience. Holy crap, jackpot, this is a complete jackpot. The surrounding outer sect disciples were all shocked after hearing the bid as well and stared at Lin Fan with unmasked jealousy. 10,000 pills for a mere lower-graded sword, this. Lin Fan looked at Meng Yongchang, his two eyes prideful and extravagant, very extravagant. Spending that much for a single girl. At what time would a man be most attractive? The hypocritical ones would say when they were working, but what all girls really thought was that a man was most attractive when he spent money on them. Yi Zongyu's expression became cold. He couldn't afford to bring out 10,000 pills. It wasn't that Yi Zongyu was poor, rather he just hadn't saved up that high a number of this kind of a medicinal pill. And Yi Zongyu wasn't foolish enough to bring out his advanced medicinal pills. Those were hard to come by even for him. Senior brother Meng is prideful, willing to spend that much for junior sister Chanu. I will concede and take my leave. Yi Zhongyu saw that the remaining weapons on Lin Fan's stand weren't swords, so he was uninterested. Junior brother Yi, please wait a moment. Meng Yongchang said. Ying Zongyu's expression slightly changed as he was preparing to leave. Does he perhaps want to humiliate me? It looks like junior brother is in need of a lower graded sword. I happen to also have one. If junior brother doesn't mind, I can give this to you. Meng Yongchang took out a sword and said. Yi Zongyu was surprised for a bit, then said in an utterly cold voice, no, senior brother should keep that for himself. I will take my leave. Seeing the enraged junior brother Yi leave, Meng Yongchang also slightly shook his head, then reached down into a pocket near his waist. Junior brother Lin, this bag contains 10,000 circulation pills. Lin Fan received the bag and was slightly startled. 10,000 circulation pills inside this measly bag. Stop lying. Ding, discovered beginner space bag. Used for storing items, made from small sky crystals. Junior brother Lin, you can also have that bag too. Meng Yongchang said. Lin Fan was very joyful at this moment. He only then realized that senior brother Meng was an utterly amazing guy. Thank you, senior brother Meng. Lin Fan naturally didn't need this beginner space bag as he had his own bag which could store even more items than this one. But since it was a token of goodwill from his senior brother, he couldn't turn it down. So he planned on waiting for a perfect time to exchange it for circulation pills instead. Senior brother, here is the heaven-piercing sword. Lin Fan handed the lower-graded sword to senior brother Meng. Senior brother Meng received it and praised, not bad. Exquisite craftsmanship, it's a lot better compared to the average lower-graded sword. Just this name is a bit, how about this? This sword is very sleek, and the surface is also smooth like water. I believe it's more appropriate to call it, Lingdong sword. Junior sister, what do you think? I will go with whatever senior brother wants. Mu Chanu blushed slightly and lightly nodded. Lin Fan looked at the two people, a beautiful sword paired with a beautiful woman, what a perfect match. Meng Yongchang smiled upon hearing this. Ni Mingyang looked at him in surprise. Today's senior brother smiled a lot more in front of outsiders than he usually did, it was quite rare. Junior brother, I do have to warn you though. You are actually prohibited from setting up a stall here. If the sex patrol were to catch you, it would be a bit troublesome. Meng Yongchang said. Lin Fan was startled upon hearing this. Are there perhaps law enforcement in this world too? Thank you for the warning senior brother, I will keep that in mind. Lin Fan clasped his hands together and gave thanks. Meng Yongchang nodded, then said to Ni Mingyang, Mingyang, you stay here and help our junior brother sell the rest of his weapons. If the patrol team comes, you can also help out. Yes, senior brother. Ni Mingyang nodded. Junior sister, let's go. Meng Yongchang said. Yes, senior brother. HMPH, succubus. When senior brother Meng left, Ni Mingyang cried out angrily. Lin Fan heard this and was shocked. Was it possible Ni Mingyang really did have some sort of relationship with senior brother Meng? Senior brother, is that junior sister perhaps senior brother Meng's partner? Lin Fan asked. HMPH, she's just a succubus. Alright, enough of her. Junior brother, let's hurry up and sell the remaining 2 weapons. If the patrol team catches us, it will be quite troublesome. Ni Mingyang said. Alright, although Lin Fan liked gossiping, for now, business was more important. Now that he had obtained 10,000 circulation pills, with just a bit more effort, he would be completely satisfied. The remaining 2 weapons were named, Moonlit Mace, and Heaven-Splitting Axe, the names of these 2 weapons being, of course, dominating as usual. Though the price they were sold for couldn't compete with senior brother Meng's 10,000 circulation pills, but since it was a first-time sale, the items were in serious demand, and at the same time there were many rich outer sect disciples. The 2 weapons were sold for a total of 7,000 pills. The outer sect disciples who didn't have enough circulation pills were all regretful. With this, all the amazing lower-graded weapons were gone. As for whether there would be any more next time, there was no need to think about it. Obviously, there wouldn't be more of these. Lower-graded weapons weren't your average vegetables after all. There was no way they could be obtained that easily. As Lin Fan was preparing to pack up and leave, a familiar voice reached his ears. Senior brother, my sword. This voice sounded very pitiful and also a bit choked up. Lin Fan also felt a bit uneasy. Junior brother, you're still here. Senior brother, that is my sword I just received yesterday. The newly initiated junior brother was really pitiful as he spoke with teary eyes. Alright, a man shouldn't be crying. Wait for me here tomorrow at this time. I will compensate you with a lower-graded sword. How's that now? Lin Fan said. Senior brother, you can yell at me. Hit me, but you may not insult my intelligence. Lin Fan rolled his eyes. I am not insulting your intelligence. Senior brother Ni is also here as a witness, how can I lie to you? Lin Fan said. In the end, due to Ni Mingyang being there, the newly initiated junior brother left half-heartedly. This also made Lin Fan feel a bit exasperated. Lin Fan also had a good item in hand, a middle-graded weapon he crafted using Yin Mo Chen's broken sword. But Lin Fan didn't bring it out this time because, with just a mere outer sect, it was unlikely they could afford it. So he was planning to wait until he had entered the inner sect and met with the rich ones in there. On the way, Ni Mingyang repeatedly questioned. Junior brother, where did you get these weapons? I made them. Really, honestly, it's not a lie. Junior brother, you see we are also pretty close, so how about also making one for me? Sure, prepare your own materials and let me steal a peach. No problem, what kind of materials? Fine iron. Senior brother, where did you go? When Lin Fan had turned around, he realized Ni Mingyang had disappeared. Junior brother, wait for me. I will go get some fine iron right now. From far away, Ni Mingyang's slightly excited voice could be heard. Chapter 26. Your junior brother isn't that kind of person. Chapter 26. Your junior brother isn't that kind of person. Today's profit was not bad, selling the 3 lower-graded weapons for a total of 17,000 pills. The Saint Devil sect being a training haven could provide every outer sect disciple with circulation pills monthly, though it wasn't much. The number of outer sect disciples was over 8,000, and with each person receiving 30 pills, that got over 200,000 pills each month. Obviously, the circulation pill wasn't some top-quality medicinal pill and was merely a supplementary item to help assist with the training of the disciples. He was only 2 million experience away from post-celestial stage, and once he reached post-celestial, he could enter the inner sect, thus becoming a middle-level power of the sect. At that time, he would be able to come into contact with far more advanced things. Lin Fan now also understood why with Meng Yongchang's cultivation base of 6th level paracelestial, which within the sect would definitely be a rank 1 talent, he still decided to stay within the outer sect. If Lin Fan hadn't seen Mu Chanu, he really wouldn't have understood why senior brother Meng was like that. But now, Lin Fan finally understood that Meng Yongchang wanted to stay beside Mu Chanu. Humans strive to reach the top while water flowed downwards, and still, Meng Yongchang abandoned his great future for a girl, that was also admirable. Lin Fan didn't think about it anymore and immediately took out the storage bag, raised it to his mouth and started dumping them in. Ding, consume circulation pill, experience plus 100. Ding, consume circulation pill, experience plus 100. Vast amounts of circulation pills turned into experience, and his character experience points soared endlessly. After consuming all the circulation pills, Lin Fan opened his character data panel. Name, Lin Fan. Level, 19, half step away from post-celestial. Experience points, 9,703,410 millionths. Storage experience, 0 can upgrade character level, can upgrade martial skill level. Martial skills, open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket first level 10 3 millionths. Open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket 13th level 1540,000. Professions. Advanced Blacksmith First Level 1005 thousandths. Equipment 9-5 Red Brick Legendary Weapon. Title Not Conceding So Just Do It. Cultivation base is doubled, time limit is 1 incense candle, one-time use. He was half a step away from post-celestial, and now only needed around 300,000 more experience to enter the post-celestial stage. There was only a 1-word difference between pre-celestial and post-celestial, but the change that would happen between them was huge. Pre-celestial was blood energy while post-celestial was true energy. Only after entering post-celestial did one's body generate true energy and draw upon the power of the heavens and earth, truly entering the path of cultivation. Bang, 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 bang. Upon hearing the knocking sound, Lin Fan immediately knew who it was. It seemed lower-graded weapons was quite alluring for senior brother Ni. Lin Fan opened the door and was startled as a big sack entered his view. Junior brother, step aside really quick so I can come in. Ni Mingyang's back was currently facing Lin Fan. Lin Fan hastily stepped aside, and Ni Mingyang stepped forth a few steps, placing the sack on the floor. Bang, a dull sound rose, as pieces of silver-gray fine iron emerged from the sack, glowing with a dazzling silvery light. Senior brother, where did you get all this from? Lin Fan was pleasantly surprised. As expected of senior brother, he is really fast in obtaining these materials. I got all of this from the blacksmith. The amount of fine iron they have over there is to the point where there's no room left to place any more. Every year those dynasties would transport vast quantities of fine iron over. Us disciples are allowed to go whenever we want to grab some. Ni Mingyang brushed off his hands. In order to get these fine irons, he had gotten dust all over himself. But the allure of lower-graded weapons was far too great, so Ni Mingyang just couldn't wait. Lin Fan heard this and froze up. It seemed he was still very ignorant. These fine irons were obtainable anytime he wanted and he had been to his house looking for scrap metals. It was rather ironic. Junior brother, come at me. At this time, Ni Mingyang spread out his two legs, taking a horse stance while clenching his teeth, as if he had made a great decision. Senior brother, what are you doing? Lin Fan became surprised to the point where he could barely speak. Was it possible senior brother had one of those unspeakable fetishes? Junior brother, didn't you say you had to steal a peach to be willing to craft a lower-graded weapon for me? For a lower-graded weapon, I will go all out. Ni Mingyang said. Senior brother, what are you doing? Do you really think I am that kind of person? Stand straight, your junior brother isn't that kind of person. It's an honor that senior brother will allow me to forge a lower-graded weapon for himself. Lin Fan hastily patted Ni Mingyang's shoulder while saying. Junior brother, you. At this moment, Ni Mingyang gave a sigh of relief, then his voice became choked. Junior brother, this gracious act of yours, your senior brother will remember it. Oh, senior brother is overreacting, it's a trivial matter. Lin Fan smiled and waved his hands causally. Junior brother. Ni Mingyang looked at Lin Fan with appreciation, his eyes overflowing with moved tears. Senior brother. Junior brother. Senior brother. Junior brother. Ni Mingyang hated himself for not being a girl. That way, he could repay his junior brother. Monkey steals peach. And at this moment, Lin Fan instantly reached forth. This was essentially self-delivering experience. It'd be a waste if he didn't receive it. Ding, congratulations open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket experience plus 300. Junior brother, you. The expression of the previously moved Ni Mingyang changed, only feeling an immense pain surging through his crotch and at the same time, disbelief in his mind. Didn't we already have an agreement? Lin Fan took a small breath, his expression full of color, then his expression instantly turned serious, as if he was lecturing a student. Senior brother, the path of training is full of peril. I saw that senior brother was far too sincere and this made me afraid that senior brother will suffer big in the future. So I could only do this. I hope senior brother can forgive me. Lin Fan words contained love and affection, full of sincerity. Junior brother is right, I will take this lesson to heart. Just junior brother, when will the lower graded weapon be finished? Ni Mingyang couldn't take his mind off the lower graded weapon. Lin Fan looked exasperatedly at Ni Mingyang. Senior brother, for a mere lower graded weapon you're even willing to forsake your manhood. This leaves me speechless. Senior brother, don't worry. I will be waiting tomorrow morning at the dining hall for you to come pick up your weapon. Lin Fan said. All right then, I will leave it to you, junior brother. Your senior brother's body is feeling a bit under the weather so I will take my leave now. Ni Mingyang's face was red as he said this with much effort. All right, Lin Fan nodded. Then Ni Mingyang walked outside and personally closed the door himself. Before leaving, he even said, don't mind me, junior brother, I will be fine by myself. When the door closed, Ni Mingyang's teeth started chattering as he instantly knelt down on the ground then left slowly step by step. Seeing Ni Mingyang leave, Lin Fan gave a slight laugh and looked down enthusiastically at the glowing fine iron on the ground. Not bad, not bad, these fine irons will be enough for to play around quite a bit. He was already a level 1 advanced blacksmith. Using just scrap metal was already enough to craft lower graded weapons, and these fine irons were enough to craft middle graded weapons. Also, the professions had another benefit, which was when one material was enough to craft a middle graded weapon, then using that same material, one could also produce 2 lower graded weapons. In the outer sect, lower graded weapons were already the leading commodity. If he brought out middle graded weapons to sell, who could afford them? Chapter 27. I will do it, I will do it. Chapter 27. I will do it. I will do it. Ding, discovered craftable material, fine iron, produced from the Great Yan dynasty. Lin Fan weighed it in his hand. The weight was quite heavy, but this amount of metal alone wouldn't be enough to forge a weapon for a normal blacksmith. But this wasn't a problem for Lin Fan, who possessed a system, so this one piece alone was enough to forge a middle grade weapon. According to common sense, no matter how skilled the blacksmith was, it would still be impossible to forge a middle-graded weapon from mere fine iron. But for Lin Fan, his blacksmith profession obviously had a sort of buff on it that enabled it to raise the grade of a weapon. Lin Fan threw a piece of fine iron into the furnace. Ding! Congratulations on crafting a low-graded sword, advanced blacksmith experience plus 100. Ding! Congratulations on crafting a low-graded dagger, advanced blacksmith experience plus 100. At the moment, middle-graded weapons had no use for him, but in the outer sect, lower-graded weapons had the most use. If he could just exchange them for enough circulation pills, he would be able to level up and then enter the inner sect to wreak havoc. Ding! Congratulations on leveling up professions, advanced blacksmith level 2. As Lin Fan was repeating this action, he heard a notification coincidentally when the fine iron was completely exhausted. Now, within his bag, there were a total of 40 lower-graded weapons. As long as nothing untoward happened and he sold all these weapons, he would definitely level up. Knock, knock. At this time a knock sounded on the door. Senior Brother Yin, what's wrong? Lin Fan smiled and asked. In the outer sect, those he was somewhat familiar with were only Senior Brother Yin and Senior Brother Ni. Junior Brother Lin, today the inner sect disciples are holding a competition in the outer sect. Do you want to go watch? Yin Mo Chen said a bit excitedly. Competition? Lin Fan froze. Senior Brother Yin, why are the inner sect disciples holding their competition in the outer sect instead of the inner sect? This is a long-held tradition of the sect. The point of having the inner sect disciples hold their competition here is to give us outer sect disciples some motivation, and secondly, allow us outer sect disciples to consult the inner sect disciples for any problems we encounter during training after the competition is over. Yin Mo Chen said. Lin Fan nodded. It seemed this was similar to schools inviting upperclassmen who were admitted into Tsinghua back to encourage underclassmen and motivate them to also aim for entering Tsinghua University. However, although Lin Fan wasn't really interested, he wanted to go and see the cultivation base of the inner sect disciples. Okay, Senior Brother, let's go then, Lin Fan said. Alright, let's hurry then. Otherwise, there won't be any room left to even stand. Yin Mo Chen quickly said. November LBJNN. Every year, the outer sect disciples would be most excited around this time because their troubles could then be resolved by the inner sect disciples. By the time Lin Fan and Senior Brother Yin arrived, the place was already packed with people. In the front was a square-shaped fighting stage made of neatly stacked lightly colored bricks, and dragon pillars were placed at each corner of the stage, making it seem quite mighty. Junior Brother, let's go over there. There are fewer people. Yin Mo Chen looked left and right and finally saw an area on the other side with fewer people. If they continued to stand here, they wouldn't be able to see the stage. This was a once-in-a-year occasion where they could witness the matches between the inner sect disciples. If they were to miss it, they could only wait till next year. Just when Lin Fan and Yin Mo Chen found their spot, people finally came onto the stage. A group of brightly robed men and women came soaring from the sky as if they were celestials. When these inner sect disciples landed, the cheers of the surrounding outer sect disciples became more intense. The group of inner sect disciples attracted the eyes of thousands like popular celebrities and indulged in the cheers of others. Lin Fan glanced at the group of inner sect disciples on stage and carefully compared them. 5th level post-celestial, 4th level post-celestial, 8th level post-celestial, ... 9th level post-celestial. Among the group of inner sect disciples, the one with the highest cultivation base was only at a 2nd level paracelestial. Compared to Meng Yongchong, they were still far off. The 2nd level paracelestial inner sect disciple was likely the one in charge for this event. After saying a few words to the others around him, he then led them forward to the high podium. Lin Fan observed the 2nd level paracelestial inner sect disciple and could feel a strong convergence of energy around his body. Start the competition. At this time, someone sitting on the upper stone seat spoke out. Though the voice wasn't loud, it was like thunder and shocked the surrounding outer sect disciples, causing them to pale. So strong. Lin Fan was surprised. It seemed he couldn't underestimate any of them. Pre-celestial and post-celestial were already on two entirely different planes, so the difference between post-celestial and paracelestial would be like heaven and earth. Then two inner sect disciples drifted onto the stage, faced each other and placed their hands over their fist. These two inner sect disciples were both 7th level post-celestials, and though their energy wasn't as strong as the 2nd level paracelestial, they still gave Lin Fan a sense of danger. Begin. The one inner sect disciple sitting on top spoke out as if he was an emperor controlling his subordinates, his each word full of dignity making everyone unable to resist. Boom! At this moment a thunderous sound traveled through the heaven and earth. The two disciples quickly brought forth the swords on their backs, the swords shining brightly as they glimmered with light. Strong, they are too strong. Yin Mo Chen's eyes shone brightly as he looked at the two disciples on stage. So this is post-celestial. Lin Fan watched the two inner sect disciples competing fiercely on stage, his heart pounding away. Bada's, this is completely Bada's asterisk. So this is martial arts. It seems I will need to go to the hidden library and borrow a few manuals and carefully research them. It's just so elegant, so glamorous. Junior brother, do you see this? This is what the inner sect disciples are, so strong. I don't know when I can become like them. Yin Mo Chen watched enviously, not knowing what to say. Soon. Lin Fan watched unwaveringly, his heart also a bit excited. Ha, junior brother, I know that it's probably impossible for me to reach the inner sect in this life. Yin Mo Chen said regretfully. Lin Fan rolled his eyes, he wanted to tell his senior brother that he was actually talking about himself. But upon seeing senior brother Yin lacking such confidence, Lin Fan felt he needed to properly enlighten him. When the two inner sect disciples finished their match, the surrounding outer sect disciples cheered loudly with even more vigor than before. Next is the guidance segment. Is there anyone willingly to spar a bit with these two seniors? Of course there will be no casualties. The seated second-level paracelestial inner sect disciple said. At this time, the surrounding disciples began whispering amongst each other. This segment was very interesting, and many outer sect disciples wanted to participate but were too embarrassed. They were afraid their cultivation bases were too low and wouldn't catch the eyes of their seniors, and hence would be evaluated poorly by them. This had actually happened before in the past. There was one disciple who decided to participate in the guidance segment but was then evaluated as worthless by the senior brother he was sparring against. After that, because his mind wasn't strong enough, he was unable to rise and wasted away. Currently, Lin Fan, who was amongst the audience, became gleeful. Going up to spar and no casualties. Furthermore, if he were to successfully steal a peach, then he would have gained big time. I will do it. At this time, Lin Fan raised his hand up without even thinking. Junior brother. Yin Mo Chen froze and looked at Lin Fan in disbelief. Chapter 28. What can you do? Chapter 28. What can you do? Under Yin Mo Chen's surprised expression, Lin Fan jumped on stage, full of grace with his head held high and at the same time waving towards the surrounding disciples. This feeling of having thousands of people watch you is not bad. No wonder so many people wanted to participate. The surrounding outer sect disciples gave a thumbs up within their hearts seeing his courage, but when they saw who the person was, became instantly startled. At the same time, their previously excited expression also became a bit fearful. The crazy peach-stealing demon. The crazy peach-stealing demon was a living nightmare in the hearts of some outer sect disciples. The disciples who experienced the feeling of having their peach stolen were all scared out of their minds. Just hearing the voice only was enough to make their crotches tighten. Off stage, one outer sect disciple hid within the crowd staring coldly at Lin Fan. When Han Lu saw the smiling Lin Fan on stage, his heart burned with rage. In the Saint Devil sect, he hated no one except Lin Fan. He had ruined his plans many times. This hatred, Han Lu would always remember within his heart. But for the current Han Lu, it was not the time for revenge yet. For now, Han Lu's sole purpose was to quickly raise his own cultivation base. What others needed months to reach, Han Lu merely needed days. By chance, Han Lu had discovered that by placing a circulation pill into a god's dew overnight, it could then improve its quality. This discovery greatly startled Han Lu, and so within this short period of time, he had relied on the upgraded circulation pills to steadily raise his cultivation base. Thus, his cultivation base currently was at a 5th level precelestial. And by relying on the upgraded circulation pills, Han Lu was positive he could break through to a 6th level precelestial within a month. And by half a year, he would definitely reach post-celestial stage and become an inner sect disciple. At this moment, Lin Fan stood on stage, looked at the inner sect disciple in front of him. He brought his hands together and politely said, "Outer sect disciple Lin Fan seeking guidance from senior brother." Lin Fan had been pondering about one thing: do all high-class people have high cultivation bases? These inner sect disciples in front of him all had jade-like faces, red lips, white teeth, slim and handsome bodies. Even in the modern era, they would be the dream men of countless girls. "How is your cultivation base?" the inner sect disciple asked coolly like the wind, but on the inside, he frowned. "I can't believe I am unable to see this junior brother's cultivation base. Senior brother Bing, I am a half a step away from post-celestial. Lin Fan knew that since he had a system others wouldn't be able to see his cultivation base. But Lin Fan was an honest and upright person who would never pretend to a fake tiger-eating pig and hide his cultivation base, so he refused to hide. Yin Mo Chen, who stood in the audience, was utterly speechless after hearing junior brother Lin's words. How could this be? Junior brother is half a step away from post-celestial. This. The previously calm Han Lu was suddenly startled. He didn't think that person's cultivation base was actually a half a step away from post-celestial. The difference between them was far too big. But upon thinking this, Han Lu then immediately cast this thought deep down: this guy must just be the son of some powerful person and was given high-quality medicinal pills since he was small. That's why his cultivation base is this high. After finding an excuse, Han Lu then regained his calm, because he believed as long as he had the holy jade bottle, he definitely would be able to trample Lin Fan under his foot in the future. HMPH, Precelestial is Precelestial. There is no such thing as half a step away. If you haven't entered post-celestial, then you never can be considered post-celestial. The concept of half a step away is merely a saying of mortals. Yu Feng frowned and then sternly rebuked. In front of these outer sect disciples, Yu Feng was done putting on airs. Every year, Yu Feng would beat down upon these ambitious outer sect disciples. For Yu Feng, these outer sect disciples were merely frogs in a well and very arrogant, just a slightly high cultivation base and they would get ahead of themselves. Lin Fan gave a glance. Mortal my ass. An overpowered system like this, and I just said it was half a step away from post-celestial, as if the system isn't stronger than you. But Lin Fan was an easygoing person, so he obviously wouldn't argue with his senior. After all, it was not like he was stepping on stage for nothing. If he didn't get at least some benefits out of it, he would have lost big. Since there were so many people watching, cultivating open double-angle bracket eternal demon body close double-angle bracket on the long term wasn't reliable, but if he could steal a peach, then he would have made it big. A 7th level post-celestial master, if he could steal the peach of a 7th level post-celestial, then wouldn't that be utterly refreshing? But Lin Fan still needed to pretend a little. Just look at this inner sect disciple's position, he would definitely not forgive him otherwise. After hearing senior brother's words, I feel the words are most definitely true. So I will bear that in mind. Lin Fan brought his hands together and replied while nodding. Yes. At this time Yu Feng nodded his head in a satisfied manner. The boy was worth teaching. It was good that he knew how to admit he was wrong. Good. Since your cultivation base is at 9th level Precelestial, I will also match my cultivation base with yours. You must have been in the outer sect for quite a while now, so you must be familiar with the outer sect's martial skills. In that case, use the outer sect's martial skill open double angle bracket fist of 7 demons close double angle bracket to attack me and I will give you some advice. Yu Feng said. In the inner sect, Yu Feng was also considered as someone with a high cultivation base, talented and with high level of perception. He could actually be considered a genius within the sect. Yu Feng had trained himself from a mortal to post-celestial within 3 years in the outer sect, and at the same time was completely familiar with the outer sect's martial skills. The open double-angle bracket fist of 7 demons close double-angle bracket was a required martial skill of the outer sect because it was easy to understand yet powerful. It was just that the amount of people who could fully master this technique were few, although Yu Feng was one of those who did fully master it. Why are you not attacking? Upon seeing the outer sect disciple still standing there, Yu Feng asked in a somewhat displeased manner. Senior brother, I don't know how to use that, Lin said somewhat helplessly. As a Saint Devil sect's outer sect disciple, you don't even know this martial skill. Yu Feng froze and looked at Lin Fan in disbelief, then open double angle bracket sword art of light wood close double angle bracket you must know that. Lin Fan stood there and scratched his head, a bit embarrassed. Senior brother, I don't know that either. At this point, all the surrounding disciples began laughing. This was the first time they had seen something like this. The 2 martial skills senior brother Yu Feng had just mentioned were the ones they all were familiar with, as they were both rather easy to cultivate lower level martial skills. They didn't expect Lin Fan to not know them, which was completely hilarious. Yu Feng was also now displeased, and he looked at Lin Fan unhappily. Then what do you know? Yu Feng no longer had any hopes left for this junior. Not even knowing such simple martial skills, what use was there? Seeing Yu Feng ask this, Lin Fan became a bit embarrassed to reply. This open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket was now a bit difficult to say. Enough, you don't have to say it, come. Yu Feng didn't want to say anything more. Yes, senior brother. Lin Fan nodded and went forth step by step, then gave a shout. Senior brother, take this, ninth heaven destruction of the gods. Lin Fan was currently full of momentum and rushed forth with a sense of unstoppable air floating about him. Yu Feng secretly shook his head seeing Lin Fan charge, full of openings, zero momentum. He prepared to extend a finger and break his attack. But at the moment Lin Fan drew close to Yu Feng, the atmosphere around him changed. Monkey steals peach, humph. Yu Feng coldly snorted, foolish tricks. And was utterly disappointed. But at this moment, Yu Feng's expression suddenly changed. He then realized that this move was somehow inescapable. How can this be? Although Yu Feng had suppressed his cultivation base to a 9th level precelestial, his own cultivation base still existed. This completely ordinary move somehow had an overwhelming feeling. He was an inner sect disciple, his cultivation base was at the 7th level post-celestial, how could his defenses be breached? This was completely impossible. 9th turn of mixed element, suddenly the atmosphere around Yu Feng changed, his palm striking against Lin Fan's body. Lin Fan saw that he was about to succeed but then realized that his chest had received a heavy blow. But he was completely alright even after that blow. Ding, congratulations open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket experience plus 6000. Lin Fan brushed off his chest. What kind of martial skill was open double angle bracket 9th turn of mixed element close double angle bracket? Yu Feng previously was completely unable to dodge his open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket, but suddenly his body warped and a palm landed on his chest. November LBJNN. It seemed martial skills were a rather useful thing. After I successfully steal a peach, I must return and learn a few more martial skills. Chapter 29, Unyielding Willpower. Chapter 29, Unyielding Willpower. How could you use such an underhanded technique? Yu Feng had sent Lin Fan flying away with one hit, but his expression was livid. If he hadn't reacted in time, he would have really fallen under that move. What do you mean underhanded? Senior brother, my technique is completely just and proper. Though senior brother's last hit on me left my chest still hurts a bit, but I still have a technique left that I would like senior brother to advise me on. Naturally, Lin Fan wouldn't admit that his technique was underhanded. Though open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket was a dubious technique, under yours truly, it will become upright and just. And just now, Lin Fan realized that the growth of open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket was still very high. Senior brother, I would also like you to advise on this technique 18 palms of the dragon. Lin Fan gave a cackle, moving to his own rhythm and giving an exuberant display as he rushed forth at Yu Feng. And just when Lin Fan rushed right in front of Yu Feng, he leaned down and shouted. Monkey steals peach. Yu Feng was surprised and struck forth again. 9th turn of mixed element. Bam, Lin Fan was sent flying away again. Ding, congratulations open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket experience plus 6000. Lin Fan immediately got up upon hitting the ground. Yu Feng had suppressed his cultivation base to a 9th level precelestial, so one strike could only provide 6000 experience. Facing open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket with an experience requirement of 3 million, this was essentially worthless. He needed to make him raise his cultivation base to maximize the benefits. Senior brother, I have been stuck at 9th level precelestial for many days and haven't been able to break through. Would senior brother please raise his cultivation base up to the 3rd level post-celestial, so that way I can be pressured a bit? Lin Fan shouted. Yu Feng looked at Lin Fan and was momentarily speechless. The previous 2 times, Yu Feng had already been angered. But upon hearing this, he also felt that punishment was in order. The only issue was that his seniors were currently sitting up on the top watching, and if something were to happen, it would be difficult to explain. Junior brother, if I do that I am afraid there will be casualties. Yu Feng said, life and death are common on the path to cultivation, so I would ask senior brother to accept my request. Lin Fan said with righteousness and without any fear. Alright, in that case, junior brother should be careful. Yu Feng gave a slight cold smile. Since he was seeking death himself, no one could blame him for what happened next. Lin Fan glanced at Yu Feng. As expected of an inner sect disciple, he is likely a veteran compared to these simple-minded outer sect disciples, the difference is like heaven and earth. After entering the inner sect, one would be able to go out, train and experience many things, causing even the personality to change. And upon entering post-celestial stage, one could also protect themselves outside. After all, the ones who hadn't entered post-celestials were just mere ants on the path of true cultivation. The Saint Devil sect didn't allow outer sect disciples to leave the sect grounds in order to protect them. And the inner sect was essentially part of the sect's core, so they would be involved in more matters, and thus, have more experience. At that time, the senior sitting on the upper podium's stone seat narrowed his eyes, somewhat interested. Lin Fan then felt Yu Feng's presence grow. If one just compared power alone, the suppressed third-level post-celestial Yu Feng was more than enough to send him flying. Though he had the protection of the open double-angle bracket eternal demon body close double-angle bracket, one strike from a third-level post-celestial was still enough to make him cough up a potful. However, Lin Fan was not afraid at all. A mere third-level post-celestial wasn't enough to kill him. Senior brother, take this, Buddha's divine palm. This is a legendary technique from the heavens. Lin Fan causally said, then bent his legs and jumped towards the sky with a loud sound. Completely fake, Yu Feng muttered in his heart without paying any heed to the charade. Lin Fan, who was currently in the sky, became a little hurt upon seeing Yu Feng looking indifferent. As expected of an old-timer, he was not falling for it at all. Lin Fan was in no hurry, as he refused to believe there wouldn't be a moment where the opponent would falter. Senior brother, take this. Lin Fan warned. Yu Feng's eyelids slightly moved, and when Lin Fan drew near, he struck out. Lin Fan felt his chest become hot as the power was far stronger than the previous ones, and was sent flying away, crashing to the ground. Ding! Congratulations, open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket experience plus 30,000. Pooh! Lin Fan spat forth a mouthful of blood. It really was strong. The difference between pre-celestial and post-celestial was indeed on an entirely different level. Lin Fan was completely unable to see Yu Feng's movements. Pre-celestial was blood energy while post-celestial was true energy. And Lin Fan also felt a fierce flow of red true energy enter into his body, but the true energy was instantly absorbed not long after it rampaged about a little. Han Luopan became utterly delighted seeing Lin Fan's condition. He was completely asking for it after all. But when he saw Lin Fan stand up, he became startled and in disbelief. Senior brother, that strike was very strong. I was completely unable to see it. Again, Lin Fan gave a small sigh and said. Yu Feng was in disbelief that he was still able to stand up. That strike just now was suppressed, but it still shouldn't be something a pre-celestial could withstand. Yu Feng stepped forth with his momentum turning ferocious. Well then, junior brother is indeed surprising. I will just have to see what kind of moves junior brother has. Return of Thousand Swords. Lin Fan, of course, didn't know any of these moves. He was merely borrowing the name of techniques from novels to set off the mood. But the outer sect disciples off stage were watching in excitement, feeling that junior brother Lin had quite a good naming sense. Just what the hell was this, Return of Thousand Swords? Yu Feng obviously knew it was a bluff, so he naturally wasn't deceived. Bam! Yu Feng instantly caught Lin Fan's arm and sent him flying, not even giving him the slightest room for resistance. Ding! Congratulations, open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket experience plus 40,000. And oh vel be in .c ohm. Lin Fan was sent flying into the sky, but his heart raced faster and faster. As expected, death brought no limits. Continually pushing the limits was the way to go. This feeling of rapidly increasing experience was really the best. Haha, senior brother is strong. I am in full admiration. Again, Lin Fan's momentum became stronger and stronger, fiercer and fiercer with each strike. Lin Fan's previously lightly colored robe became gradually splattered with blood. The previously rowdy outer sect disciples off stage became quiet one by one, not daring to believe the maniac on stage. He was already that injured, yet he was still like that. Yin Mo Chen was currently worried. Junior brother is far too rash. If this continues, he will really die. Senior brother, take this, returning energy of 3. Bam! Ding! Congratulations, open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket experience plus 40,000. Senior brother, take this, North Star Sacred Arts. Bam! Ding! Congratulations, open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket experience plus 40,000. At that point, the surrounding audience were utterly stunned and speechless as they saw Lin Fan engage in an endless cycle of falling to the ground and rising up, seemingly without any signs of stopping. Although Lin Fan was repeatedly beaten, his spirit of standing up yet, again and again, left even the inner sect disciples deeply surprised. Yu Feng was currently stunned. Bam! Yu Feng struck out again, but this time Lin Fan wasn't sent flying. Senior brother. Lin Fan's hand grasped onto the arm of Yu Feng. Phew! Lin Fan opened his mouth, and a pool of blood surged forth. Junior brother, enough. Yu Feng was moved at this point. Senior brother, to be able to spar against a master like you, I Phew. I am fully satisfied. Lin Fan threw up twice already in that one sentence. Junior brother, this is a blood circulation pill. Eat it, and it will stabilize your injury. Although Lin Fan's cultivation base was low, he had taken on so many of Yu Feng's attacks that even he couldn't remember the number. And every time he was able to stand up, his willpower left even Yu Feng in admiration. Senior brother. Lin Fan initially wanted to refuse and instead just say some emotional words, but then suddenly changed his mind. Ding! Discovered rare healing medicinal pill, blood circulation pill, after ingestion, experience plus 100,000. Thank you, senior brother. Lin Fan weakly raised his hand and brought the blood-red blood circulation pill to his mouth. Junior brother, just based on your willpower alone, there will definitely be a place for you in the inner sect in the future. Yu Feng praised without any hesitation. This was the first time Yu Feng ever gave an outer sect disciple such a high evaluation. Senior brother. Lin Fan looked gratefully at Yu Feng and then slowly opened up his arms, wanting to embrace Yu Feng. Yu Feng paused, then a slight smile appeared on his handsome face. Since junior brother wishes to embrace me, I will grant him that wish. Senior brother. Lin Fan called softly. Yes. Senior brother, I will return today's favor in the future. Lin Fan's previous grayed-out eyes began to gradually brighten, but Yu Feng didn't notice them. Doesn't matter, it was just a mere blood circulation pill. Junior brother, rest up your body. I will wait for you in the inner sect. Yu Feng said. It's not that. Lin Fan slightly shook his head. What is it then? Yu Feng asked puzzled. Senior brother. Yes. Yu Feng quietly said in confusion. Monkey steals peach. At that moment the sky changed as if it were the end of the world. Life was full of shortcuts after all. Chapter 30. Successfully faking my death. Chapter 30. Successfully faking my death. I finally succeeded. At this moment Lin Fan's heart was utterly joyful. Although Lin Fan felt slightly guilty about Yu Feng, he had already decided that he would definitely pay him back in the future. Since obtaining this system and learning open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket, if he were to say which peach was most rewarding out of all the peaches he stole, it definitely would be Yu Feng's peach. Lin Fan wasn't happy for too long before his expression changed, as an unstoppable surge of momentum rushed over him like a wave. Yu Feng's face was utterly pale with no color, and bright red flames suddenly appeared within his palms. Lin Fan's face became extremely hot as he was currently standing right in front of Yu Feng. FCK. Lin Fan turned pale at the moment. Yu Feng was trying to kill his rhythm, and if the full strength of a 7th level post-celestial attacked him, even if he didn't die, he would be a cripple for life. Go die. Yu Feng lost all reason upon having his peach stolen by Lin Fan. That pain which could surpass all defenses. At this point, all he wanted to do was to kill the current person in front of him. Burning Palm. Though Burning Palm was a lower rank martial skill of the dark category, it still possessed immense power. A life-extinguishing palm landed on Lin Fan's chest. Bam! Lin Fan's chest became hot, a burning hot energy surging crazily into his body. Even with the protection of open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket, the clothes covering his chest were burnt black. Lin Fan's entire body was lifted into the air and sent flying outside the stage, landing on the ground motionless. The outer sect disciples off stage were all dumbfounded. The momentum from Yu Feng releasing the power of his 7th level post-celestial stage had caused them to freeze, and it wasn't until after the attack was dealt did they all come back to themselves. This is bad. Junior brother Lin's life must be in danger. Junior brother Lin. Yin Mo Chen came back to himself and hastily ran over to Lin Fan. Upon seeing his junior's chest burnt black and scarred flesh, he went into full panic. Yu Feng also came back to himself and seeing Lin Fan lying far away, he couldn't believe what he had done. Yu Feng wanted to go forth and check, but his crotch was in a lot of pain, so he was unable to move. In the end, he could only half kneel onto the ground, clench his teeth and endure the waves of pain. After entering post-celestial and attaining the steel body of a post-celestial, normal knives or swords were completely unable to harm him. Yet, how was a mere 9th level pre-celestial able to do this to him? Yu Feng couldn't understand it at all. Yu Feng, as a fellow sect member, how could you attack so brutally? At this time, the 2nd level paracelestial senior brother who had been sitting on top came drifting down. His previous calm face had become slightly angry. Senior brother, Yu Feng didn't know what to say. He had been unable to control himself. That kind of pain would be impossible to understand if one didn't personally experience it themselves. HMPH, enough. You will receive your punishment when we go back to Inner Sect's Correctional Hall. Li Chujun scolded. He didn't think something like this would happen. As fellow sect members, to attack a junior with such force was not forgivable. The previous strike would be hard to withstand even for a post-celestial junior. It seemed that this outer sect junior's life could not be saved. Li Chujun sighed, then without giving Yu Feng another look, he rushed quickly over to Lin Fan. Senior brother, please save junior brother Lin. Yin Mo Chen begged. Although Yin Mo Chen hadn't known Lin Fan for long, he felt the bonds of friendship between him and Lin Fan were still very deep. It's all my fault. If I didn't call junior brother Lin out with me to watch the competition, none of this would have happened. It's all my fault. Yin Mo Chen said full of regret. Let me see. Li Chujun had a serious expression as he checked on the status of Lin Fan. The insides were scarred by the burning energy, pubic region and tendons destroyed, vitality diminishing, essentially there were no hopes of saving him. Phew, Lin Fan coughed up a mouthful of blood, his previously colorful complex becoming mud-like. Senior brother, Lin Fan had just received the system's level up notification. Ding, congratulations open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket experience plus 300 million. Ding, congratulations open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket level plus 1. Ding, congratulations open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket experience plus 100,000. Ding, congratulations open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket level plus 1. Ding, congratulations open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket level plus 1. Ding, congratulations on defeating 7th level post-celestial Yu Feng, character experience plus 200,000. Ding, congratulations, character rank upgraded to post-celestial stage. Ding, the system will begin updating for 24 hours, the host will enter false death mode and then fully revive, countdown 1 minute. 59. Junior brother, don't speak. Senior brother Li will save you. Yin Mo Chen began panicking upon seeing junior brother Lin became weaker and weaker. Lin Fan gave a slight smile in his heart. Just a moment ago, he nearly scared himself to death. He had thought he nearly did just get himself killed there for a moment. But unexpectedly, upon going from pre-celestial to post-celestial, the system would fully resurrect him, but it needed 24 hours to update. But before the final countdown ended, Lin Fan wanted to get a little emotional. When he entered false death mode, they would all really think he did die and would then bury him. After that, he would be able to leave the sect and secretly kill monsters on the outside and slowly level up. After he became all-powerful, he would then come back and give them a surprise. That was also quite a proper plan. Senior brother, no need. I know my own situation, I just want to ask one thing of you right now. Lin Fan said. Go ahead, junior brother. Yin Mo Chen endured the sadness in his heart and listened to the last words of Lin Fan. Lin Fan lifted his hand with difficulty and removed the storage bag from his waist and brought out 2 swords from the inside. Senior brother Yin, this is the lower graded sword I promised to make for senior brother Ni. The other one, please give it the newly initiated junior that I owe. Also, there's no point in me keeping this storage bag, so I will give it to you. In the future, if you miss me, you can just look at this storage bag. Lin Fan's breath became weaker and weaker as if he were about to die soon. Junior brother, senior brother, I am sorry for attacking you before in the past. Do you hate me? Lin Fan asked emotionally. No, junior brother, as long as you live, I will let you attack me all you want in the future, no complaints. Yin Mo Chen said truthfully. Then senior brother, can I attack you once more? That feeling is very nostalgic. Lin Fan looked lifelessly at Yin Mo Chen. In Lin Fan's heart, no matter how small the fly, it was still meat. Alright, junior brother, come at me. I am prepared. Yin Mo Chen nodded without any hesitation. Lin Fan watched as Yin Mo Chen gave a smile, then slowly closed his eyes. Senior brother, I will always remember you. Ding, countdown ended, entering false death mode. At this moment, Lin Fan went still and stopped breathing. Junior brother, Yin Mo Chen shouted in grief. Heh, Li Chujun shook his head helplessly. He already did all he could, but in the end, he was unable to revive the dead. Unless the sect had used some sort of supreme secret technique, nothing could be done. Only now it was too late to say anything. The person was already dead. Chapter 31. Another Genius Falls. Chapter 31. Another Genius Falls. The area was silent. Everyone watched anxiously, not knowing what the current situation was. Han Lu gloated gleefully within the crowds and then left. November LBJNN. Senior brother, is it really impossible to save junior brother Lin? Yin Mo Chen asked relentlessly. Li Chujun shook his head, it's hopeless. Even the sect head wouldn't be able to do anything now. Take him and bury him. Li Chujun had experienced similar situations many times, but this kind of situation was a first. The previous outer sect competitions were all joyful, the outer sect disciples would all be satisfied. Although there were sometimes injuries, there would never be any deaths. But today, an incident had occurred. Junior brother Lin. Yin Mo Chen was in disbelief, his previous lively junior was now suddenly dead. Senior brother, you have to take responsibility for junior brother's death. Yin Mo Chen snapped. Li Chujun's expression slightly changed and he cast his sleeves. All right, this incident is now over. I will take care of it myself, bury the person now. Yu Feng was a 7th level post-celestial and a core disciple within the inner sect. Although no one wanted such a thing to happen, still, who would dismiss a 7th level post-celestial core inner sect disciple for a mere outer sect disciple? Yin Mo Chen was crestfallen and helpless. He understood the meaning of Li Chujun's words, this incident was now over. Yi Mo Chen lifted Lin Fan's body up. Junior brother Lin, I am incompetent, not even being able to obtain justice for you. I am so useless. On the way, the passing outer sect disciples pointed at them while whispering amongst themselves. They knew what had happened previously, and felt pity towards Lin Fan's unfortunate demise. Although the person was a bit of a scum, other than that he was alright. Ni Mingyang hastily ran over upon hearing the situation. His face paled when he saw the body on Yin Mo Chen's shoulder. Junior brother Yin, what happened to junior brother Lin? Senior brother. Yi Mo Chen looked at Ni Mingyang and shook his head. Ni Mingyang lowered his head, his heart as heavy as Yi Mo Chen's. He already knew what had happened. This situation wasn't something an outer sect disciple could interfere in. The water was very deep here. Senior brother, before junior brother Lin died, he asked me to give this sword to you. Also, he asked me to give this other sword to a disciple that you know of. Yin Mo Chen's hand shook as he brought out 2 lower-graded swords from the storage bag. Ni Mingyang looked at the sword in hand, and his eyes turned red. Junior brother Yin, we are powerless regarding this situation. We can only send junior brother Lin off respectfully. Ni Mingyang said after a moment. Yes, Lin Fan's death left a considerable impact upon Yin Mo Chen. The Saint Devil sect had 9 peaks towering above the clouds like a celestial plane within the human realm. Each peak consisted of clean-cut stone steps. Originally, outer sect disciples were not allowed to go down the mountains, but since something like this had happened, the disciples guarding the sect's entrance gave grace and let them go. The foot of the mountain was green and lush. Yin Mo Chen and Ni Mingyang dug a grave for Lin Fan under a vast tree, then slowly lowered the coffin into it. Junior brother, rest in peace. When I enter the inner sect, I will come see you. Yin Mo Chen looked at the black coffin with puffy red eyes and said. Ni Mingyang patted Yin Mo Chen's shoulder. Junior brother, one must still walk the road. Death is inevitable, our junior just left a bit earlier than us, in the future, we will meet again. Yes, Yin Mo Chen nodded. Let's bury him, Ni Mingyang said. After it was all over, Yin Mo Chen and Ni Mingyang stood in front of Lin Fan's grave for a long time before finally heaving a sigh and leaving. At the moment, the surrounding was peaceful and quiet. Suddenly, in front of Lin Fan's grave, ripple patterns began appearing as if space itself was distorting. A pair of jade-like feet slowly stepped out from the distortion, and a beautiful figure appeared in front of Lin Fan's grave. The clothes of the woman were that of the Saint Devil sect's outer disciples. She raised a finger, and a flash of light appeared. The dirt covering Lin Fan's grave began rising into the air as if someone were controlling it. Gradually, a dark coffin began rising up from the ground. Clank! The nails sealing the coffin began dropping to the ground. The coffin opened, and Lin Fan's body floated slowly towards the woman. A trace of regret appeared on the beautiful face of the woman. Another genius falls. The world possesses many geniuses but only a few can truly grow. What a waste of a supreme pill, ha! A sigh that ran deep sounded, giving off the impression of helplessness and loneliness. Night. Complete silence. For the Saint Devil sect that had thousands of disciples, losing one didn't have much effect. In some people's hearts, Lin Fan's death brought pain, but for some people, who was Lin Fan? His death had nothing to do with them. Inside the sect, Yin Mo Chen lied on his bed for a long time, unable to sleep, looking at the storage bag in his hands, as if he sensed the scent of Lin Fan. Ni Mingyang obtained a martial skill from Meng Yongchang, and from today onward, he vowed to work hard to reach post-celestial stage and enter the inner sect to obtain justice for the death of Lin Fan. Han Lu was joyous and poured a glass of liquor to celebrate. The arrogant Wang Tianfeng was not himself today. He lit 3 incense sticks in the courtyard before heaving a sigh and returning back to his room. The next day at night. Ding, system update complete. Ding, unlocking true energy function. Ding, martial skill classification feature. Lin Fan, who had lied in the coffin for 24 hours, began opening his eyes. Although the insides of the coffin were pitch black, he could ignore this due to his current cultivation base. Lin Fan gave a heavy smack, and as a result, the ground shook. He then climbed out from the inside. Lin Fan took a deep breath and inhaled some fresh air. Ah, I nearly got myself killed, that was way too dangerous. Lin Fan wiped the sweat from his forehead, thinking back to what happened on the fighting stage, feeling a bit scared now. Lin Fan carefully observed his surroundings, particularly the 9 peaks behind him, and then understood he had now left the Saint Devil sect. Lin Fan felt very favorable towards the Saint Devil sect, but since he was already outside, he might as well play around a bit. Once he obtained a powerful cultivation base, he would then go back and surprise them. As for Yu Feng trying to kill him, Lin Fan didn't take it to mind. One of the side effects of open double-angle bracket monkey steals peach close double-angle bracket was that the ones who had their peach stolen would feel a sudden impulse of wanting to kill the other party after all. And Yu Feng contributed greatly in helping him enter the post-celestial stage. Such a contribution, how could he not pay him back in the future? Lin Fan eagerly opened his data panel. The current system had upgraded, so he wanted to know what kind of new tricks it had, feeling extremely excited. Name, Lin Fan. Level, 21st level post-celestial. Experience points, 0.2 millionths. True energy, 100. Storage experience, 0. Can upgrade character level, can upgrade martial skill level. Body training skills. Open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket second level 200,000 4 millionths. Mental cultivation, none. Martial skills. Open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket 15th level 0 60 thousandths. Tactics, none. Professions. Advanced blacksmith level 2 1010 thousandths. Equipment. 9-5 red brick legendary weapon. Title. Not conceding so just do it cultivation base is doubled, time limit is 1 incense candle, one-time use. What are true energy, mental cultivation, and tactics? Lin Fan was clueless. However, his character level up experience had decreased and only required 2 million experience points now. It seems senior brother was right. Pre-celestial and post-celestial are 2 different planes, a boundary that is very difficult to cross. Since he needed to cross the plane from pre-celestial to post-celestial, the amount of experience he needed would be very high. But once he crossed over, the experience would then return to normal. Lin Fan restored his grave to normal. He was dead now after all, and if he were to leave his grave like this, who knows what would happen. After that, Lin Fan ran eastward deep into the forest. There was a huge dynasty in the east, called the Great Yan Dynasty. And Lin Fan's current destination was there. After all, where there were people, there would be fun. Chapter 32. Not even letting this mutt go. Chapter 32. Not even letting this mutt go. It was completely dark in the forest, and scary sounds would ring out occasionally. Lin Fan was generally fearless, but he still felt a bit scared of the eerie forest. If a ghost were to suddenly emerge, it would really be scary. I have been walking for a few hours. It should be far enough already from the Saint Devil sect. Let's take a good rest and head north tomorrow. Lin Fan found a spot and placed some tree leaves on the ground. He lied down, closing his eyes and preparing to rest up. As for whether this forest was dangerous, Lin Fan couldn't really say. Back when he was in the sect, he had only heard some rumors. The rumors said that this forest was very dangerous. As for what precisely was dangerous about it, he didn't really understand since he had never experienced it before. Sa. The surroundings were quiet. Lin Fan lied underneath a huge tree, his breathing light. In a patch of dark grass, a pair of red eyes flashed by. This pair of red eyes was filled with a vicious bloodthirst, but the sleeping Lin Fan didn't sense the gradually approaching danger. The owner of those pair of red eyes was a wild beast. The height of this wild beast was around half a human, with a horse-like tail, 4 rough and powerful legs, sharp curved claws, and 2 strands of red hair standing upright on its back. The row of sharp teeth seemed able to tear anything apart. From the front, looked somewhat like a dog. The moon-devouring demon hound was a common wild beast around the vicinity of the Saint Devil sect. If post-celestial or pre-celestial disciples were to run into one, they would definitely die. The moon-devouring demon hound stood mightily on the ground, its red eyes glaring at the human underneath the tree. It was previously interacting with another beautiful moon-devouring demon hound under the moonlight and was now exhausted, when it suddenly caught the scent of a human. So it naturally didn't hesitate to come over. Although wild beasts are cruel and bloodthirsty, they were still somewhat intelligent. The moon-devouring demon hound had been observing from the shadows for a long time. Its sensitive nose was able to detect the enemy's weapon and tell from the smell of a person whether they were strong. The moon-devouring demon hound had smelled Lin Fan for about a minute and came to the conclusion that this was a free dinner. The moon-devouring demon hound moved forward step by step. When it was just a few steps away from its prey, it bent its hind legs and pounced forth savagely. Clang! The moon-devouring demon hound's sharp teeth bit forth mercilessly towards its prey, but the unexpected happened. A snapping sound was heard, and the moon-devouring demon hound's teeth began chattering. How was this possible? Once bitten by it, its prey would normally reveal its soft and delicious flesh, but what was this current situation? At that moment, the moon-devouring demon hound became enraged. Its prideful sharp teeth couldn't even tear through a mere human, it was a complete disgrace. Bite, 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 chomp. Ding! Congratulations, open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket experience plus 1000. Ding! Congratulations, open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket experience plus 1000. The stream of system notations sounded and the sleeping Lin Fan felt his head almost explode from the racket. So noisy. Lin Fan sat up disgruntled, but he was startled seeing the creature in front of him. Where did this dog come from? Ding! Discovered level 1 post-celestial wild beast, moon-devouring demon hound. Lin Fan was surprised. It was not like he had never heard of wild beasts before. When he became an outer sect disciple, the booklet provided by the sect had an introduction of wild beasts. They were ferocious and brutal creatures that roamed the earth, and even the weakest wild beasts were at the post-celestial stage. Aside from that, the post-celestial wild beasts held an advantage over similar cultivation-level humans. Currently, the moon-devouring demon hound was becoming more and more violent, biting relentlessly onto Lin Fan's arm as if it were fighting him to the death. Woof woof. The moon-devouring demon hound then realized the human had woken up and gave a fierce howl. Lin Fan looked at the moon-devouring demon hound and blinked. Who would have thought that even a wild beast biting him would provide experience for open double angle bracket eternal demon body close double angle bracket? Just that drool was a bit smelly and disgusting. Woof woof. The moon-devouring demon hound became even further enraged. The black horse-like tail suddenly erupted into black flames, as if it wanted to burn this human alive. A brick to the head. November LBJNN. Lin Fan took out the legendary 9-5 red brick from his bag without another word, and smacked it onto the head of the moon-devouring demon hound. The previously ferocious moon-devouring demon hound instantly fainted. Then Lin Fan brushed off his body. Too dangerous, way too dangerous, this sleeping habit still hasn't changed. Once I sleep, it's nearly impossible to wake me. Lin Fan dragged the leg of the moon-devouring demon hound while looking for a vine. If nothing else, at least he had breakfast for tomorrow. During his search for vines, whenever the moon-devouring demon hound woke up, Lin Fan would smack the brick over its head. When the moon-devouring demon hound woke up again, it began howling and prepared to rush forth to shred Lin Fan into oblivion. But then the moon-devouring demon hound realized it was unable to move its limbs. Shut up, you're tied up to a tree, so do you really think you can still move? Lin Fan couldn't help but admire the beauty of nature. The vines he had found were strong to the point where even a post-celestial like him could not break them, quite sturdy indeed. The sky gradually became lighter. Lin Fan was completely awake now as he glanced at the moon-devouring demon hound tied to the tree, carefully observing it. Black fur covered its entire body, but the area around the stomach was white, and it was a male. A day can't be wasted. Since you took the liberty of delivering yourself, I will use you as practice. Lin Fan rolled his neck, warming up in advance. The moon-devouring demon hound looked at the human in front of him, his heart pounding rapidly. What was this human trying to do? Why was his stare even eviler than his own? Woof woof. The moon-devouring demon hound howled, warning the human to not act too arrogantly. Lin Fan came in front of the moon-devouring demon hound, his eyes locked directly onto the bottom middle part of moon-devouring demon hound, and then he took a deep breath. The training begins. Under the ferocious stare of the moon-devouring demon hound, Lin Fan moved. The movement was completely natural, and although it was only one move, it was gradually reaching the path of true mastery. Monkey steals peach. Woof. Suddenly, a piercing cry rang through the entire forest. Ding, congratulations open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket experience plus 500. The moment the system notification sounded, Lin Fan smiled pleasantly. It was just like he thought, open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket was a godly technique. Any male opponent of the world would suffer greatly from it. Monkey steals peach. Ding, congratulations open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket experience plus 500. Woof. Then Lin Fan began his path of experience farming. The moon-devouring demon hound's body trembled, its ferocious eyes looking confused and regretful. The bursts of piercing yelps told just how much pain the moon-devouring demon hound was in. It was getting bright. A ray of sunlight shone through the tree leaves onto Lin Fan's face. Lin Fan looked at the data panel. The experience of open double angle bracket monkey steals peach close double angle bracket was now at 40,000, about 10,000 points away from leveling up. Lin Fan brushed off his hands. Let's end it here for today, then looked towards the moon-devouring demon hound and sighed, for experience, I can't even let this mutt go, it's quite heartless. Woof. The moon-devouring demon hound was now deeply regretful. How did it turn out like this? It then looked at the human in front and wailed loudly. Lin Fan took out a middle-graded sword from his bag and looked reluctantly at the moon-devouring demon hound. Brother Hound, I will return today's favor in the future. Ding, defeated level 1 post-celestial wild beast, moon-devouring demon hound. Ding, experience plus 5,000. Ding, dropped unconventional martial skill open double angle bracket black tiger steals hard close double angle bracket. Chapter 33, Granddaddy is here. Chapter 33, Granddaddy is here. Oh, Lin Fan was surprised. He originally was just thinking of cooking the moon-devouring demon hound to fill his stomach, but a martial skill had dropped unexpectedly. It was quite strange. Ding, discovered unconventional martial skill, black tiger steals heart, learn. Lin Fan had now left the Saint Devil sect, but he now regretted playing around too much and forgetting to learn several techniques. Although, black tiger steals heart was an unconventional martial skill, with monkey steals peach as a preliminary example, Lin Fan believed that as long as he increased its level, he would be able to destroy anything. Ding, learned, black tiger steals heart, level 1, experience 0/100. Black tiger steals heart, a self-created womanizing technique, obtained from moon-devouring demon hound. When Lin Fan saw the introduction of the martial skill, his expression slightly changed. In the end, it turned out to be merely a womanizer technique. What a rip-off. But Lin Fan wouldn't abandon this technique. As there was no good or bad technique, it just depended on who was using it. As Lin Fan believed he was a good person, he definitely wouldn't use it for bad purposes. After filling his stomach, Lin Fan packed up and continued heading north. After Lin Fan had left, a moon-devouring demon hound with a slightly skinnier body jumped out from the grass. It sniffed the air, and then suddenly roared out in anger. Along the way, Lin Fan encountered many wild beasts, but they were all defeated with one slash from his sword. His experience increased quite a bit as he was killing wild beasts, making him realize that perhaps it was a wise choice to leave the Saint Devil sect. In the Saint Devil sect, leveling up was quite hard, but on the outside, with wild beasts running amok, the experience from killing them had become quite a lot. Woof, woof. At that moment, the bushes shook slightly. Lin Fan frowned and stopped, as something seemed to be happening. Ta-ta. At that moment, a group of moon-devouring demon hounds jumped out from the bushes. Lin Fan looked at the group of moon-devouring demon hounds blocking his way and had a general idea of what was happening. They seemed to be here for revenge. Moon-devouring demon hounds were usually active during the night, and basically just slept in the morning. But this group of moon-devouring demon hounds surrounding him had obviously tracked him by his scent. Woof. At this moment, a moon-devouring demon hound with a slightly skinnier build bared its fangs, looking at Lin Fan with deep hatred. Its horse-like tail burned with fire, and the ground underneath it was burnt pitch black. Lin Fan wanted to negotiate with them, but the other party didn't even give him a chance and attacked him on the spot. This group of moon-devouring demon hounds all had cultivation bases up to level 3 post-celestial. If Lin Fan didn't have the eternal demon body, he would have been long dead already. Ding, defeated level 2 post-celestial wild beast, moon-devouring demon hound, experience plus 8,000. Ding, defeated level 1 post-celestial wild beast, moon-devouring demon hound, experience plus 5000. Lin Fan slashed each hound with a sword, his movements quicken without any hesitation. Although there were many moon-devouring demon hounds and defending against all was difficult, the damage dealt by the moon-devouring demon hounds was all converted to experience by the eternal demon body. Hey, don't get too cocky. Lin Fan's sword flashed forth, and a moon-devouring demon hound was cleaved in half. But the moon-devouring demon hounds were ferocious. Even though they had lost half of their group, they refused to retreat. Ding, congratulations, eternal demon body, experience plus 1000. After Lin Fan eliminated the entire group of moon-devouring demon hounds, he then sighed slightly, why to go through all that trouble? Ding, obtained intermediate rank martial skill of the light category, immovable imperial fist, learn. Learn, immovable imperial fist, is an imperial martial skill pertaining to the Great Yan dynasty. Ding, obtained low rank martial skill of the light category, psychedelic body, learn. Learn, psychedelic body, is a martial skill pertaining to the heavenly school of the Great Yan dynasty. After eliminating the moon-devouring demon hounds, Lin Fan obtained 2 martial skills. It seemed many people of the Great Yan dynasty died at the hands of these moon-devouring demon hounds. 2 days later, Lin Fan encountered 4 more attacks from moon-devouring demon hounds. At the same time, he faced many other wild beasts along the way. After entering post-celestial stage, Lin Fan finally understood the use of true energy. Using psychedelic body, or immovable imperial fist, all consumed true energy, but what troubled Lin Fan was that he didn't know how to recover true energy quickly, and could only rest up each day to slowly recover it. Lin Fan also felt that the utilization of true energy also had something to do with the mental cultivation skill. It seemed there was a need to obtain a mental cultivation skill if he had the chance. Lin Fan also discovered something new about the moon-devouring demon hounds. They were a group of fierce beasts that would actively seek revenge. Because of the moon-devouring demon hounds, Lin Fan's cultivation base had also risen, and was now a level 2 post-celestial. The true energy had also doubled. After 3 days, Lin Fan felt that he should be close to leaving the dense forest. He wondered if the Great Yan dynasty was outside it. Lin Fan didn't have a clear goal and didn't know what to do. His current goal was just to raise his cultivation base and go back to the Saint Devil sect to give his fellow brothers a big surprise when he became stronger. Currently, Lin Fan was sitting underneath a tree. He had used psychedelic body repeatedly to quicken his pace, so the amount of true energy consumed was great. But the effect was not bad, as his usage of psychedelic body had made him move at 10 times his normal speed. Right now, psychedelic body was already at level 5, and immovable imperial fist was at level 3. Boom! Suddenly, Lin Fan felt the earth shaking violently. Lin Fan was startled and immediately stood up. Did something perhaps happen? But the moment Lin Fan stood up, a majestic sense of energy came surging over like waves. What the heck? What's that? Lin Fan was utterly stunned. Just which great god did this presence belong to? It's incredibly intense. Lin Fan then realized that the sky in front was darkening as if it was the end of the world. Lin Fan ran forth. It would be better not to get involved in such a dangerous situation. But still, he was curious. So, Lin Fan decided to go sneak a peek. After all, nothing bad should happen from that, right? Lin Fan began creeping forth stealthily. Mo Yizan, hand over the treasure map of the 7th saint and I will let you live. Currently, up in the sky, 2 figures were engaged in a chase, the surroundings completely desolate. Haha, I didn't think a member of one of the 12 righteous sects, Lianlong Sword Sect, would commit something like murder. The bath-clothed male who was being chased twisted his face in disdain but didn't dare stay. HMPH, the treasure map of the 7th saint is an artifact of the ancestral 7th saint, hand it over now. The other side. NOVEL-B in .C ohm. Suddenly, a flash of light surged forth. The area in front of the black-clothed male distorted and a momentous ancient stone bridge appeared from the air, cutting off the black-clothed male's path. Hand it over. The one stopping the black-clothed male was an astonishingly beautiful female with a mighty aura about her. Mo Yizan looked warily at the woman in front of him, his hand clutching an ancient-looking scroll. Ni Mansion, do you really want to fight me to the death? Mo Yizan asked warily. Just you alone, Ni Mansion laughed coldly, cycling sword. Lin Fan hid afar, watching the situation ahead while being completely dumbfounded. This was way too insane. If this were him over there, he would have been cut to death long ago. But at this time, something that puzzled Lin Fan occurred. They seemed to have fought too ferociously. The two who were previously just engaged in an intense fight seemed to be at their limits and stood motionless. But even so, Lin Fan didn't dare go over. Haha, Ni Mansion, experience comes with age. Although you are one of the top of this realm, you lack experience in actual combat. Mo Yizan laughed, his face turning pale like dirt. HMPH, underhanded. Ni Mansion didn't speak anymore and closed her eyes to heal up. We don't know who will be the one to die today. I do admit that the Lianlong sword sect is number one when it comes to swordsmanship, but when it comes to healing, they are dead last. Both of us can't move now, so I'd like to see just what you can do to me. Although Mo Yizan talked big, he was also scrambling to recover. Lin Fan, who was far off in the distance, perked his sharp ears while listening in. What they said previously wasn't important, but there was one sentence of utmost importance. Both of us can't move now. ... They can't move, Lin Fan muttered, then his expression changed. FCK, what's the point of watching if they can't move? Granddaddy is coming. Lin Fan's eyes lit up at that moment as he ran towards the two people. Chapter 34. A good example of serving the people. Chapter 34. A good example of serving the people. After coming to this fantasy world, Lin Fan didn't really think too much about others. Stuff like dominating the entire universe, that was reserved for the really powerful people. Since he had a system, he needed to make use of it and increase his own strength as quickly as possible. Now that such a great opportunity was in front of him, how could he miss it? Mo Yixin and Ni Mansion were currently engaged in a furious struggle of healing, but at this time, they heard a joyful voice cry out. Granddaddy is coming. Mo Yixin opened his eyes and saw a person running over from afar. His heart then leapt with joy. It seemed the moment of life or death had arrived. Fortunately, he was a disciple of the Infinite Devil Sect. If the Infinite Devil Sect claimed they were number 2 in tempting humans, then nobody would claim to be number 1. November LBJNN. Ni Mansion frowned, not knowing who the person was. Although she was unable to detect the opponent's cultivation base, judging from the footwork, it seemed like he was someone of the Great Yan dynasty. Lin Fan ran forth as quick as a horse, his speed breaking through the limit, then glanced at the two's cultivation base. Level 7 Paracelestial, Level 8 Paracelestial. Lin Fan was dumbfounded after seeing them. Strong, way too strong. Unexpectedly, two big bosses turned up. It seems I will earn big this time. My fellow brother, I am a disciple of the Infinite Devil Sect. We have been in good relations with the Saint Devil Sect for many generations. If you help me, I can introduce you to the sect head of the Saint Devil Sect. This was the territory of the Great Yan dynasty, and the Great Yan dynasty was a subsidiary of the Saint Devil Sect. Since this person appeared here, he most likely derived from the Great Yan dynasty. As long as he promised enough benefits to the other party, he definitely would help. Ni Mansion was young, so she lacked experience. But at that moment, she still began to worry. This was the territory of the Saint Devil Sect, and many dynasties were subsidiaries of the Saint Devil Sect. Since she came from a righteous sect, she was at a disadvantage. She was also seriously injured and had fallen prey to Mo Yixin's trickery, so she couldn't move. She had cultivated a body of Lianlong, so a mere post-celestial would be unable to harm her, but if he interfered and helped Mo Yixin recover first, she would be in grave trouble. My fellow brother, Mo Yixin secretly healed himself and prepared to continue tempting the other party. Lin Fan, who was rushing forth, stopped while realizing that perhaps going forth so openly wasn't such a great idea, but covering his face now was too late, so he could only endure and face it to the end. At this time, Lin Fan held the legendary weapon, 9-5 red brick, behind his back. Fellow brother my ass. Without any word, Lin Fan jumped forth and smacked the brick on top of Mo Yixin's head. Mo Yixin, who was in the middle of healing, instantly fainted. Ni Mansion saw this from the side and let out a sigh of relief secretly. It seemed the other party was a person who could differentiate good from wrong. A devil sect, in the end, was a devil sect, everyone who was a part of it would be punished. Just that it was unfortunate for the thousands of citizens under the Great Yan dynasty, for they were controlled by the devil sect. As a disciple of one of the 12 righteous sects, her future path was still very long. Thank you, Ni Mansion whispered, then closed her eyes and silently started healing. You're welcome. Lin Fan smiled and picked up his legendary weapon, smacking Ni Mansion over her head. When the two people both fainted, Lin Fan brushed off his hands while looking left and right. The male was handsome while the female possessed an inviolable beauty. Who he should start with first was a deep dilemma. Towards beautiful women, Lin Fan would always ponder with a pure motive. He would definitely never have any impure motives. Because Lin Fan was such a pure person. Lin Fan thought about it, a level 7 paracelestial master, he had never thought that his own brick was capable of knocking out 2 paracelestial masters. It was something he never dared to think about. Alright, gentlemen first, let's start with you then. Now that Monkey Steals Peach was already level 15, it had long reached a very high plane, but as for how high, Lin Fan was unable to say since he never tested it. Lin Fan took a deep breath and flexed his fingers to make them more movable. Hey, Monkey Steals Peach, Lin Fan struck forth without any hesitation, leaving no scope for any error. Ding, congratulations, Monkey Steals Peach, experience plus 20,000. Ding, congratulations, Monkey Steals Peach, level up. When he first attacked, Lin Fan became instantly shocked and then very excited upon hearing the system notification. The experience was increasing so rapidly. Steal. 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 Lin Fan diligently cultivated Monkey Steals Peach, and became more skilled with each use. He had now essentially mastered it. Ding, congratulations, Monkey Steals Peach, experience plus 30,000. Hey, what happened? Lin Fan was surprised and stopped. The previous Monkey Steals Peach were only worth 20,000 experience. How did it suddenly turn to 30,000? Did it perhaps have something to do with the handwork? Lin Fan then experimented again with stealing Peach. Ding, congratulations, Monkey Steals Peach, experience plus 20,000. Lin Fan finally understood that it definitely had something to do with the handwork. With each level, the handiwork would become more and more important, and this was likely an enhancement brought by the recent upgrade. Lin Fan gradually immersed himself within the rules of Monkey Steals Peach. The world was said to have 3,000 great paths, each path was a possibility. The world wasn't actually limited to 3,000 paths. Instead, 3,000 was a figure point. It wasn't saying that only 3,000 paths could be taken. Instead, it meant that the possibilities were endless. If one reached a certain point, they would be able to go beyond the limit. Monkey Steals Peach. Ding, congratulations, Monkey Steals Peach, experience plus 30,000. Ding, congratulations, Monkey Steals Peach, level up. Leveling up again made Lin Fan immensely joyful. Oh. At that moment, Lin Fan jumped. Oh no, I was so immersed in stealing peaches that I nearly forgot the time. He then picked up the brick and smacked it again on the two people's head without any hesitation. The two people, who nearly were about to wake up, fainted again. Lin Fan sighed in relief. It seemed he needed to pay attention to the time when he was stealing peaches. These two were boss-level beings. If they really did try, they would definitely be able to kill him. Lin Fan was risking everything this time to level up his skills rapidly by relying on them. Lin Fan then raised both hands and began crazily stealing towards the crotch of Mo Yixin, the sect head of the Infinite Devil sect. Whenever the two were about to wake up, Lin Fan would unhesitatingly smack the brick over their head and cause them to faint once more. Ding, congratulations, Monkey Steals Peach, level up. Ding, congratulations, Monkey Steals Peach, level up. After Monkey Steals Peach repeatedly leveled up some more, reaching level 19, Lin Fan stopped. The reason was that the experience for Monkey Steals Peach had now reached 1 million. Before level 19, the experience had just been several thousand, but now, it had jumped to 1 million. Once it reached level 20, it would likely upgrade vastly just like Eternal Demon Body. At this time, Lin Fan looked towards Mo Yixin's crotch, sensing something to seem quite swollen. He then sighed, serving the good people of society. Monkey Steals Peach. Steal. Chapter 35. The flat airport became a hill. Chapter 35. The flat airport became a hill. Ding, congratulations, Monkey Steals Peach, experience plus 10,000. The experience began decreasing, but Lin Fan had already expected this to happen. In the Saint Devil sect, the disciples merely provided experience in the hundreds or few thousands at the most. Now that he had been given such a grand opportunity, and met such masters that were willing to provide him points, he wouldn't let this chance go no matter what. Since stealing one peach now only provided 10,000 experience points, then leveling up would require stealing 100 times. This amount wasn't too big or too small, but Lin Fan was worried that Yi Mo Xin would be long destroyed by then. But, Yi Mo Xin was a level 7 paracelestial, so there should be nothing to worry about. The cultivation base was that high, so his body must be incredibly sturdy. Lin Fan thus entered an endless cycle of stealing peaches. Time gradually passed by. Lin Fan didn't know how many times he had stolen, and neither could he count the number of times he smacked with the brick. Afterward, he made a rule that after every 5 steals, he would smack the brick over the two's heads, then continue with his immersion of joyful peach stealing. Ding, congratulations, monkey steals peach experience plus 10,000. Ding, congratulations, monkey steals peach level up. Ding, congratulations, monkey steals peach upgraded to twisting heaven and earth. Lin Fan became joyful upon seeing monkey steals peach get upgraded. Plus, the new name also seemed very high-end to him. It was most likely very strong. Twisting heaven and earth, yin and yang for heaven and earth, reversing yin and yang. When Lin Fan saw the description, he instantly became stunned. How was that so? How did it become even more sinister? This completely doesn't fit my character. Lin Fan felt an impulse to cry. This was a completely degenerated technique. N-O-V-L-B in.C ohm. Twisting heaven and earth level 1, experience 0.1 millionths. At this moment, Lin Fan became speechless. A proper move like monkey steals peach had been upgraded to a degenerated technique. In the future, if he opened a clinic, would it perhaps be specialized in changing the sex of males? Lin Fan glanced at Mo Yixin and sighed slightly. He then came in front of Ni Mansion. He looked at Ni Mansion and checked her out from top to the bottom. What a beautiful woman, such a beauty, so heavenly. Such mighty presence. Her beauty was like that of a celestial. Oh, suddenly, Lin Fan froze and then frowned. Such a beauty, yet why is she like a flat airport? Ha, such a disappointment. Lin Fan stared at Ni Mansion's flat chest while shaking his head with a sigh. The gods were unfair, giving her such beauty but not a proud figure. Currently, Lin Fan was engaged in an internal struggle. Whether Black Tiger Steel's heart was dirty or not, Lin Fan felt that it was dirty. A womanizing technique couldn't be righteous in the end. But Lin Fan believed in gender equality. Since Mo Yixin suffered his attacks, this woman would also not escape his wrath. Black Tiger Steel's heart was a simple technique. Just like monkey steals peach, it was only one movement. Yet, it was ever-changing. If he didn't observe and study it a bit, it would be difficult to raise it to a high level. Lin Fan then took a deep breath, his previous lax expression becoming immensely sharp. Black Tiger Steel's heart. Ding, congratulations, Black Tiger Steel's heart experience plus 100,000. Ding, congratulations, Black Tiger Steel's heart leveled up. Ding, congratulations, Black Tiger Steel's heart leveled up. ... At this moment, Lin Fan was a bit sad. This one move and Black Tiger Steel's heart instantly rose by 10 levels. This speed was incomparable. It seemed this level 8 paracelestial goddess was the one who would bring rich amounts of experience. Lin Fan wanted to take this goddess with him. That way, he could take her out whenever he wanted to level up various moves. Lin Fan took a deep breath and awakened from his joy of leveling, then unhesitatingly attacked again. Black Tiger Steel's heart. Ding, congratulations, Black Tiger Steel's heart experience plus 60,000. Black Tiger Steel's heart. Ding, congratulations, Black Tiger Steel's heart experience plus 60,000. Ding, congratulations, Black Tiger Steel's heart leveled up. With each level up of Black Tiger Steel's heart, he saw that the experience gained was becoming less and less. But even so, the experience was still vast. If it were a normal person, they would have long stopped providing experience. This was a chance given by the gods, so Lin Fan wanted to make the most of it. There would be no next time. As Lin Fan continually immersed himself within his attacks, he realized in horror that Ni Mengtian's original airport had now become a bumpy hill. Lin Fan was shocked to the point no words would come out of his mouth. What is this? Did they swell up from my attacks, or is it a side effect of Black Tiger Steel's heart? Of course, Lin Fan was not perverted to the point of ripping off the other party's clothes to check. After all, a decent and proper person like him would never do something like that. Lin Fan checked the level of Black Tiger Steel's heart. It was now level 14, and the experience required was around 200,000. This leveling speed was something Lin Fan had never thought of. Fast, truly fast. Lin Fan was able to attack so ruthlessly because these two techniques weren't fatal, and these two were willing to quietly lay there and let him attack them, all thanks to the legendary weapon, 9-5 red brick. Lin Fan looked at the 9-5 red brick in his hand and gave it a kiss. What a good companion. Then, he smacked it on top of the two's head again. Lin Fan continually used Black Tiger Steel's heart, as Ni Mansion's original flat chest became more and more bountiful and big. Ding, congratulations, Black Tiger steals heart experience +1. Ding, congratulations, Black Tiger steals heart experience +1. ... At this time, Lin Fan's expression changed. What's with this? The experience was good a moment ago. Why is it increasing by so little now? Currently, Black Tiger steals heart was at level 18, 2 more levels away from level 20. If it were like the previous pattern, then leveling up, Black Tiger steals heart wouldn't be a problem. Heh, Lin Fan sighed rather helplessly. It seemed, Black Tiger steals heart wasn't as simple as he thought. But Lin Fan was still satisfied. These two techniques were now cultivated to this level, so it was totally worth it. If it weren't for these two, who knew how long it would take if it were just himself? Lin Fan took out his middle-graded sword and flourished it about, then stood seriously in front of Mo Yixin. Poke. At that moment, Lin Fan stabbed the sword towards Mo Yixin's body. At that time, something happened that left Lin Fan in shock. The instant the middle-graded sword touched his skin, it broke into pieces. Is this person's body perhaps like mine? It seems the difference in level is still far too big. Lin Fan originally was thinking of eliminating the two people to make his level skyrocket. But, upon seeing the current situation, he knew it was impossible. Lin Fan then put away the middle-graded sword and smacked the brick over the heads of the two again, causing the two to faint once more, then made his preparations for escape. Chapter 36. Thank you too for the hospitality, I will return the favor in the future. Chapter 36. Thank you too for the hospitality, I will return the favor in the future. Ding, congratulations, discovered treasure map of the 7th Saint. Lin Fan had heard the two mentioning something about a treasure map while hiding. At the time, he saw Mo Yizan clutching a map in his hand, and naturally decided to check it out. The treasure map was made from an unfamiliar material and felt soft in his hands. It was unusually flexible, and even when Lin Fan tried to rip the map, it wouldn't tear at all. What kind of secrets does this map of the 7th Saint have to make those two fight to death for it? Lin Fan opened the treasure map and glanced over it. Since he had just left the sect, the map was too confusing for him. He had no clue what the picture on it meant. But the map had two sentences, which he felt contained very deep meanings. Logically speaking, there should be secrets hidden within them. The heavens above heavens, a plane within the earth. Lin Fan knew this was valuable, and placed it into his bag, deciding to go over it when he gained more experience in the future. Then, Lin Fan searched Mo Yizan's waist, but didn't find any storage bags. He has such a high cultivation base, but doesn't even have a single storage bag. Lin Fan searched a bit more but didn't find anything, and felt like giving up. Looting for the first time and being unsuccessful. At that moment, Lin Fan's eyes caught something shiny. He saw a dazzling ring on Mo Yizan's finger, upon seeing which he thought of something. Then, he eagerly removed the ring from Mo Yizan's finger. Ding, congratulations, discovered storage ring, open. Open. He would obviously open it, there must be treasures waiting for him within it. When Lin Fan saw the items within the storage ring, he began grinning from ear to ear. As expected from a powerful person, the items within the ring were all incredibly rare. But now was not the time to sort through the loot. He needed to find a safe place first and then go through it. Lin Fan placed all the items within the storage ring into his own bag. Of course, he wouldn't forsake the ring, so he took that too. Although he didn't need it, he could perhaps sell it for a good price. Lin Fan then searched Mo Yizan from top to bottom but didn't find any more useful items. Lin Fan sighed. He didn't even have a weapon, and it was a wonder he could win against someone just by fighting with his bare hands. Lin Fan smacked the brick over the two's head, but as he smacked Mo Yizan, his innocent eyes suddenly emitted a dazzling light. Ding, congratulations, discovered intermediate legendary item, Black Dragon Clothes. Black Dragon Clothes. The scales of the wild beast Black Dragon, crafted with sky crystals, can block a portion of damage from stages under Lesser Celestial. Rank: Intermediate Legendary. Lin Fan froze. He didn't think that he would discover such a treasure by just randomly touching. Weapon and armor ranking went from lower graded, middle graded, upper graded, and then legendary. This was a super rare item. This Mo Yizan was way too rich. Then Lin Fan searched throughout his entire body with shining eyes, not even sparing the underwear. Ding, congratulations, discovered intermediate legendary item Black Dragon Cloud Riding Boots. Black Dragon Cloud Riding Boots. The wings of the wild beast Black Dragon, crafted with cloud crystals, can boost speed. Lin Fan leapt up with joy. It turned out to be a set, and the effect also seemed to be quite good. Although he couldn't kill Mo Yizan, the profit he gained this time was enormous. Lin Fan then quickly stripped Mo Yizan naked without any hesitation. These two items were way too recognizable. He tossed them into his bag and planned on having a good makeover when he left the place. Seeing the naked Mo Yizan, Lin Fan then gave a sigh, his eyes locked onto the area around Mo Yizan's crotch. He was somewhat guilty that his attack had been a little too heavy. His crotch was now this swollen and was likely to not be good enough to be used anymore. How about using twisting heaven and earth to fix it up? But Lin Fan felt that today's benefits were quite plentiful, and if he continued, it would be somewhat presumptuous. Also, having Mo Yizan display his entire figure to the world was a bit wrong, and being the good person he was, Lin Fan took off his own white undergarments and wrapped them around Mo Yizan like a diaper. Since they were both men, Lin Fan, of course, couldn't let Mo Yizan lose all face. What needed to be protected should be protected. After finishing everything, Lin Fan then turned his eyes over from Mo Yizan to Ni Mansion with difficulty. Such a beauty, Lin Fan naturally was hesitant. Such methods couldn't be used on the body of a beauty. But what needed to be checked would still be checked. Ding, congratulations, discovered intermediate legendary item, Violet Frost Sword. Lin Fan touched Ni Mansion's sword and was joyful. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be an intermediate legendary sword. Not bad, confiscated. Ding, discovered lower legendary item, Flowing Cloud Boots. Lin Fan began searching her body. Ni Mansion's shoes were lower legendary items, not bad, confiscated. Ding, discovered intermediate legendary item, Phoenix Clothes. Lin Fan was surprised, another treasure. Never mind, I will let this one slide. Making such a beautiful girl like you be naked to the world is definitely not something a man should do. Lin Fan kept Ni Mansion's clothes on, but the clear and water-like ring on her hand couldn't escape from Lin Fan's hands. Confiscated, all confiscated. After he placed all the confiscated items into his bag, he then looked at the two selfless people, with his heart full of gratitude. He stood up straight in between the two people and then bowed down with a serious expression. Thank you two for the care, I will return the favor in the future. Though he thanked the two people, he still felt it wasn't enough. He then wrote a few words on the ground below Ni Mansion's feet. I understand your pain. A prideful and beautiful woman, how could you not let yourself be perfect? But don't worry, your previous defect has been fixed by me. No need to thank me, just remember my name, Lei Feng. Lin Fan looked through it once more, and after confirming there were no problems, he then went in front of Mo Yizan and left a few words. A man's pride isn't their cultivation base or family history, but instead, one's own worth. I have helped you remake yourself today and increased it by several times. You should be satisfied now. If you want to thank me, remember my name, Lei Feng. After finishing everything, Lin Fan nodded his head in satisfaction and then smiled towards the two people. He then took the legendary Nib 5 red brick in his hand and smacked it over the two again. After finishing with his hard work, he then without any hesitation and ran away like the wind. But after running away, he then ran back again. When he had left, Lin Fan's reluctant eyes had discovered a slight problem. Ni Mansion's chest wasn't the same size on both sides. For the earnest Lin Fan, this couldn't be tolerated. Lin Fan smacked the brick over the two's head again and started his repair. Black Tiger Steel's Heart. Ding, congratulations, Black Tiger Steel's Heart, experience +1. Black Tiger Steel's Heart. Black Tiger Steel's Heart. After continuing for about 10 minutes, Lina Fan finally stopped with satisfaction. Now it's perfect. After saying this, Lin then once again ran away like the wind. But Lin Fan was suspicious of one thing. Did Black Tiger Steel's here actually have this kind of side effect, or was it actually just Ni Mansion's chest swelling up? This question needed to be carefully analyzed in the future. Chapter 37. Everyone going all out. Chapter 37. Everyone going all out. A gust of wind gently passed through, stroking the two who laid under the vast sky, like a gentle pair of hands. Everything was absolutely silent and peaceful. The female's beauty was unrivaled, her body proud. No female in the world would be able to resist bowing down to her. And the man exposed a strong muscular body, devilishly handsome, his motionless eyes staring into the unending space. The worth of his crotch was immense and manly, and although a white cloth was wrapped around his crotch, it couldn't conceal the majesty that was hidden underneath. Ni Mansion had a dream. Inside the dream, she had become the queen of all beings and had led the Lianlong sect to the highest plane. And the moment she sat on her throne, she felt a sound coming from the void beyond, and then, a pair of hands full of malice came crashing through the layers of the void and everything collapsed. Ah! Ni Mansion suddenly opened her eyes as a gust of cold air surrounded her. She then realized that her trusted sword was missing from her hand. What's going on? Ni Mansion's body trembled as she suddenly felt an unbearable pain surge forth from her chest. She then dropped to her knees, her previous flushed face turning pale and drops of beaded sweat dripping down from her hair, displaying another sense of style. Ni Mansion tried recalling what happened previously. A person had come, but the moment she closed her eyes, she suddenly lost all consciousness. What happened? Just what had happened? She was a level 8 paracelestial, her mental concentration deep and impenetrable. How could she have briefly lost consciousness? As Ni Mansion was in utter confusion, she then read a distorted handwriting on the ground. The previously confused Ni Mansion suddenly became enraged, her expression became ice cold. Lei Feng. Ni Mansion clenched her teeth in hatred. What happened? But by this time, Mo Yizan woke up. Mo Yizan, you. When Ni Mansion saw the area around Mo Yizan's crotch, a shiver ran through her entire body. You shameless person. Ni Mansion, you. Mo Yizan paled upon seeing his own appearance, but upon seeing Ni Mansion's appearance, he was simply shocked. How did her previous flat chest become like that? And when Mo Yizan saw the words written underneath his feet, his face instantly flushed red. But at the moment he was about to let loose, he felt a sudden pain surge forth from his crotch directly to his brain. Ah! The moment he screamed, the level 7 pre-celestial Mo Yizan felt an unimaginable pain run through his entire body, causing him to tremble. Mo Yizan tried enduring the pain, but the pain surged forth wave after wave like the tide, catching him off guard. Have I become wasted? Mo Yizan's heart was racked with horror, but he then realized that the treasure map of the 7th saint he had been clutching in his hand had gone missing along with his storage ring. The treasure map of the 7th saint, it's gone. Mo Yizan was horrified. Mo Yizan wouldn't have said anything if it was just the storage ring and his clothes that had gone missing. He would only feel regretful. But upon losing the legendary treasure map of the 7th saint, he completely lost control. Ni Mansion was also trying to endure the waves of pain in her chest, and upon seeing the claw marks on her chest, she realized what had happened to her. When Ni Mansion heard Mo Yizan's words, she became shocked as well. The treasure map of the 7th saint was gone. Bastard, even if I end up overturning my cultivation base, I will send you into the deep abyss. Ni Mansion lost her composure. That person had dared to do such things to her. It was unforgivable, completely unforgivable. Angering a paracelestial master was a scary thing. Before entering the paracelestial stage, one could still be considered human. But after entering paracelestial, one would no longer be human, but instead a celestial. Infinite Devil Cluster. Mo Yizan invoked his paracelestial powers, his eyes burning with black energy and his momentum exploding, as he forcibly purged away all pains and distractions. He jumped into the sky, disregarding Ni Mansion. Even if he was wearing a white diaper, nothing could stop Mo Yizan's current prowess. A paracelestial's momentum was evident at this moment. Infinite Devil. Mo Yizan floated in the sky and shouted out in rage. Swirls of black gas surrounded his hands, evil ghosts and spirits laughing within them as if they were about to be unleashed. Find him, even if you must turn the world upside down, find him. Mo Yizan said with a wicked expression. Will of the Supreme Sword. Just as Mo Yizan was invoking his infinite devil search, a will of the Supreme Sword containing immense bloodlust flew into the sky and penetrated through the layers of the clouds. The evil ghosts and spirits were instantly dispersed upon touching the swords. Ni Mansion, what are you trying to do? Mo Yizan looked towards Ni Mansion with a dark expression. N-O-V-E in .C Ohm. The map of the 7th saint must not fall into the hands of the devil sects. Ni Mansion drifted into the sky, magnificent swords cycling behind her back. Senior sister. At that moment, a ray of light broke through the clouds in the distance. Mo Yizan's expression changed. Ni Mansion, you may have the upper hand today, but don't get cocky. The side effects of invoking celestial powers aren't something you can handle. Do you really think you can escape? The map of the 7th saint may have had been stolen, but Ni Mansion didn't plan on letting the evil being in front of her go. Mo Yizan looked coldly at Ni Mansion and clenched his teeth. Ni Mansion. Let's see how you plan to stop me. At that moment, the momentum surrounding Mo Yizan surged forth forcibly, tearing open a void, as his figure disappeared into it. Ni Mansion was startled. Tearing open a void was an ability of a lesser celestial, and Mo Yizan was only a level 7 paracelestial, which meant the void he opened was most likely unstable. A gamble against life or death. Ni Mansion's face was currently ashen. A spurt of blood flew forth from her mouth, and she fell from the sky. Senior sister. At this time, a group riding forth with their swords flew next to Ni Mansion. A woman among them held Ni Mansion with a worried expression on her face. Go, the person who stole the map of the seventh saint must still be near. He must be found. Upon saying this, Ni Mansion then instantly blacked out. The side effects of forcibly invoking limit-breaking celestial powers were huge, and Ni Mansion would only use them as a last resort. If she had let Mo Yizan invoke his ability, then the person who had stolen the map of the seventh saint would have definitely been found. Senior sister. Go, find, yes. Currently, Mo Yizan was within the turbulent void, his breath becoming more and fainter. As he drifted unstably, the moment he was about to close his eyes, an ancient, dark, evil palace opened its doors. In the midst of a forest, devoid of people, on a flat ground, a pair of eyes was hidden within the dirt, occasionally blinking while looking at the figures flying through the sky. Haha, luckily, yours truly is smart and buried himself. Otherwise, I would have long been found by you lot. Chapter 38, High on Medicine. Chapter 38, High on Medicine. The sun and moon alternated. The people flying through the air were like some patrol brigade, and Lin Fan was becoming impatient trying to look for a good opportunity to escape. A day later. N.O.V.L.B. in .C. Ohm. After confirming everyone had left, he carefully dug himself out. He had to thank the system for hiding his cultivation base. That way, he could safely avoid detection. Otherwise, his energy would have long been detected. People who had higher cultivation bases were more sensitive to energy, but now no matter how high the person's cultivation base was, they wouldn't be able to detect him. After this incident, Lin Fan also realized the vast difference between stages. If he had really faced those two paracelestials head-on, he most certainly would have been obliterated to the point even his ashes wouldn't have remained. Even against the level 7 post-celestial Yu Feng, if the system hadn't given him a full resurrection, he would have been totally dead. Lin Fan then swore that if he didn't have a 100% confidence of winning, he would never again pick a fight with people whose cultivation bases were way higher than him. Lin Fan brushed the dirt off his body and sniffed his hands still having traces of aroma on them. Lin Fan couldn't help but become intoxicated. Pretty women were just simply not the same. Even after a day, the fragrance still persisted, women really were deliciously sweet. Let's go, march towards the direction of the Great Yan Dynasty. Lin Fan pumped himself up and with a wave of his hand, strode forth. How far is it from the Great Yan Dynasty? Lin Fan didn't know anything and hadn't even thought about it much. As long as he proceeded forth directly, he would definitely reach the end. Ding, congratulations, psychedelic body, leveled up. Level up. Lin Fan was surprised, then began laughing. Other people walked for naught, but because he had a system, he gained experience by just walking. Psychedelic body was a good skill, but it consumed a bit too much true energy. He only had 200 true energy at the moment. Lin Fan was dissatisfied with only possessing this little true energy, as using psychedelic body consumed 10 points of true energy each hour. If he were to run for his life, he would only be able to run for 20 hours. Also, the true energy wouldn't automatically replenish if he didn't have rest, which was quite troubling for Lin Fan. If Lin Fan had known his current situation would be like this, he would have attempted to learn more skills when he had entered the outer sect. Along the way, since it was temporarily safe, Lin Fan decided to sort through his loot. To be able to pull one over two paracelestial masters, Lin Fan's heart raced with excitement even now, it was a once-in-a-millennium opportunity. One level 7 paracelestial while the other a level 8 paracelestial, they were both more powerful than even Meng Yongchong. Lin Fan first checked the storage ring of Mo Yizan. As he went through it, he found quite a number of items inside and wondered what they were. Ding, discovered a bottle of lower dark class medicinal pills, darkness pills 10. Effects. After consumption will increase cultivation speed. Ingestion increase. Experience plus 50000. Lin Fan was delighted. He hadn't expected dark class medicinal pills, not bad, not bad. At the same time, Lin Fan came to understand that if he were to consume the medicinal pills for their experience, he should also check their effects. Medicinal pills that increased cultivation speed were naturally better than those support-type healing medicinal pills. A bottle of 10 darkness medicinal pills, Lin Fan dumped them all into his mouth as if they were candy. Ding, consumed 10 darkness medicinal pills, experience plus 500,000. After Lin Fan had eaten the medicinal pills, he continued searching. There were several other types of medicinal pills too, and it seemed this wave of looting paid off quite nicely. Ding! Discovered a bottle of lower dark class medicinal pills, golden purging pills 5. Effects. After consumption, will purge all body injuries. Ingestion increase. Experience plus 60,000. Though Lin Fan hadn't seen these types of medicinal pills before, he still understood their rankings: Saint class, Heaven class, Earth class, Dark class, Light class, Human class. These dark class medicinal pills were high ranked, but also at the same time not too high. If it weren't for those two paracelestials hoarding these medicinal pills, it was unlikely he would have even been able to obtain any. Without any care, he then directly started pouring all the medicinal pills he could find into his mouth without even bothering to identify them first. Ding! Consumed 5 golden purging pills, experience plus 300,000. Ding! Consumed 1 advantage god pill, experience plus 100,000. Ding! Consumed 10 blood god pills, experience plus 200,000. At the moment, Lin Fan had become addicted to the medicine. He then dumped out all the items within Ni Mansion's ring and grabbed anything that looked like medicinal pills, stuffing them into his mouth. Walking while stuffing his mouth, it felt very pleasant and luxurious. Ding! Consumed 1 fusion sword pill, experience plus 200,000. Ding! Consumed 6 male and female pills, experience plus 1,800. Wait, what? Lin Fan had been joyfully eating the medicine and suddenly realized something was off. Why was the experience for this medicinal pill so little? Something must be wrong. These were the assets of a paracelestial master, how could there be such a low-rank medicinal pill? Ding! Male and female pill. Effects. Temporarily prevents pregnancy during intercourse. PFTT blah. Lin Fan began frantically spitting out the medicinal pills that he had placed into his mouth. FCK, I just swallowed birth control pills. Freaking rip-off item. This medicine obviously belonged to Mo Yizan, a paracelestial master. Ripping off a weak post-celestial like me, how low, what a complete rip-off. Lin Fan grunted, whatever. It increased my experience by over 1,000. I will forgive you this time. Lin Fan then slowed his pace when consuming the medicinal pills, and went through them carefully, afraid of any more mishaps and rip-offs. Ding! Discovered Wuji White Phoenix Pill 10. Effects. Provides nourishment for a woman's menstruation period. Ingestion increase. Experience plus 10,000. When Lin Fan reached the last bottle and found this medicinal pill, his expression became strange. Well, it's a nourishment medicine, so let's eat it. Lin Fan directly swallowed the Wuji White Phoenix pills without too much hesitation. He couldn't give up on the 100,000 experience points after all. Ding! Consumed 10 Wuji White Phoenix pills, experience plus 100,000. Lin Fan gave a burp after finishing all the medicinal pills. That was satisfying, extremely satisfying. Although the process was a bit annoying, the effects were well worth it. Ding! Congratulations, character leveled up. After finishing the last pill, his character finally leveled up. Level 2 post-celestial successfully became level 3 post-celestial. But Lin Fan wasn't completely satisfied. Although the two paracelestial had quite a number of medicinal pills, the ranks of them were rather low. After consuming this many and to only level up once. Lin Fan shook his head in exasperation. If either Mo Yizan or Ni Mansion were to find out that Lin Fan had just wastefully eaten all the pills like he just did, they would definitely die from vomiting too much blood. They had worked very hard to accumulate that many medicinal pills. Although they were both paracelestials, medicinal pills were still crucial for them. For example, the darkness pill, although the rank wasn't very high, the effect was still very useful, as it could double one's cultivation speed. Making them wasn't difficult, but the ingredients for the medicinal pills were hard to find. Lin Fan had wasted them all just like that, so it was rather heartbreaking. Chapter 39. Discriminating Martial Skills. Chapter 39. Discriminating Martial Skills. After finishing the medicinal pills and raising his cultivation base, Lin Fan pursed his lips in a bit of dissatisfaction. It would be so great if he could have more medicinal pills. That way, he could just rely on eating medicine to become invincible. After checking through the bag, he couldn't find any more medicinal pills, so Lin Fan switched his focus onto the martial skills. He remembered seeing several manuals earlier and wondered what kind of martial skills they contained. Lin Fan didn't expect much from Mo Yizan, as he didn't seem to be a good person. So the martial skills he possessed were most likely useless. But Lin Fan repented quickly. He shouldn't be so discriminating as a person. Although Mo Yizan wasn't a really great person, he was still able to become that strong, so his martial skills should be sufficient. Lin Fan took out a manual as he glanced through it, and smiled. Ding, congratulations, discovered upper heaven class mental cultivation, Faceless Sky Devil. Faceless Sky Devil is the Infinite Devil sect's founding skill. The founder of the Infinite Devil sect had visited hell, worshipped the Faceless Devil, and cultivated this technique after hundreds of years. Only those who possess the Sky Devil body can cultivate it. After seeing the description, Lin Fan cackled, how far-fetched. But whatever, a powerful person can lie all he wants. Since he just so happened to lack a mental cultivation skill, he might as well fix that. Learn, Faceless Sky Devil. Learn. What a joke, he was troubled over not having any mental cultivation skills. Now that one came on its own, how could he not learn it? Ding, congratulations, learned heaven class mental cultivation, Faceless Sky Devil, level 1, experience 0/100,000. Ding, congratulations learned, Faceless Sky Devil, true energy plus 1000. Lin Fan was joyful that after learning the mental cultivation, Faceless Sky Devil, his true energy had increased by 1000. It was quite strong, and going from the description in the manual, Faceless Sky Devil had a total of 9 levels. But he was curious how far he could cultivate it to. At the same time, Lin Fan discovered a problem. Since he had the system, if he upgraded Faceless Sky Devil, would that mean he would also level upgrade? But it was likely not that easy. When other people trained their own mental cultivation, their cultivation stage would also rise. But since he had a character level, he needed to rely on leveling up through experience, which was a rather sad thing. Lin Fan's head began hurting when he thought about it, not giving it any more thought in the end. As long as he continued gaining experiences crazily, he would have nothing to fear. Then Lin Fan began searching, finding some basic secret scrolls as he wondered what they could be. Ding, discovered upper heaven class mental cultivation, Will of the Sword. Damn it, another heaven class mental cultivation. It seems this mental cultivation belongs to Ni Mansion's righteous sect. Lin Fan sighed, strong people were really infuriating. It seemed both Ni Mansion and Mo Yizan were quite important within their sects. Will of the Sword, the highest sword will cultivated by the founder of the Linglong Sword sect, only those who possess the will of the sword's body can cultivate it. Ding, learn. Ding, congratulations, upper class heaven mental cultivation, Will of the Sword, level 1, experience 0/100,000. Ding, congratulations, learned, Will of the Sword, true energy plus 1000. After learning 2 top-tier mental cultivation skills, Lin Fan's heart began swelling up with a sense of invincibility. Of course, it was only maintained for 2-3 seconds before he stopped himself. Although he obtained these 2 skills, he still needed to slowly raise their levels, so it would be a long road up ahead. Then, Lin Fan began checking the remainder martial skills. Ding, discovered upper earth class martial skill, Deflowering Finger. Deflowering Finger, a powerful self-cultivated skill of the Infinite Devil sect. One finger dominates the entire world, can only learn, may not be spoken of. Learn. Wait, something seems up. Lin Fan's previous joyful heart felt like cold water had been dumped over it. Twisting heaven and earth, Black Tiger steals heart, and now a deflowering finger. Won't I end up just becoming a human developer like that? Deflowering prince or deflower thief? No, absolutely not. As a person of justice, how can I learn such a lowly technique? Don't learn, definitely don't learn. Lin Fan then rubbed his chin in thought, his expression a little hesitant after finally obtaining a martial skill but not learning it. That's right, there are no good or bad martial skills, it just depends on the person who uses them. Yes, this is the truth. I can't be scared by just the martial skills description. Learn. Lin Fan then learned it without any hesitation. Ding, learned, deflowering finger, level 1, experience 0/1000 no vel b in .c ohm. Then Lin Fan looked towards the last manual. Since he had even learned deflowering finger, what other skills would he not learn? But this manual was a bit disappointing. This was Ni Mansion's martial skill, Wind Chasing Sword Tactics. Lower Earth Class. Wind Chasing Sword Tactics was presently the only proper attack skill Lin Fan encountered so far. But since he didn't use a sword, this was a rather awkward situation. He had essentially checked all the items, and the only things left were the equipment. Lin Fan wasn't really interested in these equipment. All of the defense gear was essentially unnecessary for Lin Fan, Eternal Demon Body being more than enough. Then, Lin Fan took all the collected clothes, shoes, and one sword, and tossed them all into the furnace for forging. Ding, profession advanced blacksmith level not high enough, unable to melt for forging. When Lin Fan threw them into the furnace, this notification came up. Lin Fan sighed in exasperation, it seemed this area still wasn't sufficient enough. Not continuing any further, he then placed the items back into his bag and decided to wait for another chance in the future. After finishing everything, Lin Fan began relaxing. After the sky had darkened, Lin Fan found a large ancient-looking tree and leaned on it while closing his eyes, and began cultivating Faceless Sky Devil. Lin Fan felt an energy flow within his body and began expanding. Ding, Faceless Sky Devil, experience plus 10. Ding, Faceless Sky Devil, experience plus 10. Lin Fan opened his eyes, a bit confused. The cultivation of this skill was so slow that it didn't make sense. Then, he began cultivating the Will of the Sword, as an experiment to see what was going on. Ding, Will of the Sword, experience plus 1. Ding, Will of the Sword, experience plus 1. Just what was going on? Both were heaven-class mental cultivation skills, yet the experience gained was different. Perhaps, the upper-class mental cultivation, Will of the Sword, didn't suit him. Lin Fan was feeling exasperated. Leveling up required 100,000 experience, and with this speed, just how long would it take? There must be a problem, it definitely shouldn't be like this. Although these two skills required proper specifications, since the system allowed him to train them, it must have eliminated those needs. Yet, it was still being cultivated so slowly. So there must be another reason, it was just that he hadn't discovered it yet. Chapter 40. I am now a senior. Chapter 40. I am now a senior. The sacred grounds of the Lianlong Sword Sect were within the mountains up north. Many people wanted to join the Lianlong Sword Sect, but because the sect was located in such a perilous place, those without high perseverance couldn't reach it. Dong dong dong. A dull bell sounded within the Lianlong Sword Sect as many disciples looked around in confusion. Master, come out quickly, senior sister is about to die. At this time, a group of flustered-looking disciples landed on the ground and shouted out towards the hall. The Lianlong Sword Sect was very strict, so naturally disciples weren't allowed to rush into the hall so brashly. But because the situation was so urgent, the disciples couldn't be bothered with rules for the time being. These 2 days, they had been running through day and night, not daring to slow down just so they could arrive at their destination quicker. Their senior sister Ni was becoming weaker and weaker, and if it weren't for the medicinal pills they had used, she would have long died. At this moment, slight tremors in the air appeared from within the halls, and a figure appeared from within. If it weren't for the clothing, it would be difficult to tell if the person was a man or woman. The air around the person's face vibrated murkily, like a pool of muddy water. Master, senior sister Ni. Supreme Will of the Sword, what exactly happened? Go to the peaks and summon the elders. Without any more words, the Lianlong Sword Sect leader pulled Ni Mansion into the void with him. His expression changed, and feeling the graveness of the situation, he then immediately left. The surrounding disciples looked at each other and not dared to stop, immediately going to summon the elders from the peaks. Not knowing what he had caused, Lin Fan was currently enjoying each day as if he were on a break and continued heading north. Along the way, Lin Fan experienced the vast beauty of nature and encountered many strange plants. But what left the deepest impression on him was the vast amount of wild beasts here. Oh, there was someone up ahead. Lin Fan's expression suddenly changed and he stopped. He had heard the sound of voices up ahead and had also seen many footprints along the way, so he knew he must be nearing the Great Yan dynasty. Lin Fan hid within the shadows and saw a group of people up ahead killing a wild beast. Lin Fan had previously killed one of these types, and although its strength was decent, that was all about it. The wild beast was killed by this seemingly strong group. 5 males and 3 females, their cultivation bases were all level 2 post-celestial. But if they were to fight alone, that level 2 post-celestial golden horned beast could definitely kill all of them. Those people began resting on the spot and then disemboweling the golden horned beast. They placed its horn into a bag, set up camp and began grilling its meat. It seemed they were planning on eating the wild beast. Hey, how's everyone doing? Seeing that they were all only level 2 post-celestials, Lin Fan was not afraid. Moreover, he was also hungry, so he wanted to join in and get something to eat. At the same time, he wanted to head out with them. Judging from their outfits, they were most likely from the same area, so if he were to mingle with them, he could avoid attracting attention. Something to eat and going to the place he wanted. It was two birds with one stone, so it was well timed. Who are you? The 8 had just begun resting, but when they heard someone approaching, they were startled and hastily drew out their weapons in alert. But upon seeing only one person they were relieved. But even then, they didn't lower their guard, as there were all kinds of people in a forest like this. In the outside world, there were far too many people with bad intentions. Lin Fan gave a smile seeing the group in such a panic. Don't worry, I am not a bad guy. HMPH, a bad person will naturally not admit they are bad. A girl wearing long red clothes said with her sword drawn out in alert. Fellow brother, we don't welcome you here, so please leave. One of the males said. Lin Fan glanced at the male. The other 7 didn't say anything, so this person was most likely the leader. Lin Fan smiled. I would like to ask if the Great Yan Dynasty is up ahead. The Great Yan Dynasty is 30 miles up ahead. Zhang Tianao was vigilant towards Lin Fan, who appeared from nowhere. The person was carrying no weapons, yet was still able to appear here, so he was obviously no ordinary person. They had formed a party to come here to kill monsters. They had initially wanted to leave immediately after killing the monster, but its meat smelled very alluring, so they decided to eat first and then leave. Thank you, but I am hungry, and it seems you all managed to obtain something good. So I am just going to be direct with you guys, let's all eat together. Lin Fan went forth without any hesitation. Stop right there, otherwise don't blame me for getting violent. Zhang Tianao snapped upon seeing the person refusing to leave. How selfish, we are all traveling outside, so we should all help each other. Lin Fan said. Brother Zhang, stop wasting your breath on him. Just look at how shady he looks. He is definitely not a good person. Let's just take him down first. Han Mengmeng, the girl in red, said and flourished the sword in her hand to stab the sword towards Lin Fan's neck. One sword clears all. Han Mengmeng had a level 2 post-celestial cultivation base and her swordsmanship was also good. Her sword was covered with a layer of true energy and was glowing red, her momentum very aggressive. Lin Fan was disgruntled at that moment. What do you mean by how shady he looks? I have such a pure and innocent face, how dare she call me shady? Clang, a female attacking like that out of the blue, that just won't do. Lin Fan stood still, his left hand holding onto Han Mengmeng's sword as he said this in exasperation. Zhang Tianao was stunned upon seeing the situation in front of him, his eyes popped out in disbelief. The person was able to block Han Mengmeng's sword with his bare hands. This. Senior, please wait, Zhang Tianao cried out after being taken aback. 9 ways of turning. Han Mengmeng became enraged upon seeing the person catch her sword with his bare hands, and her body began turning, trying to break Lin Fan's hand. Lin Fan slightly shook his head. Since it was like this, he might as well try the deflowering finger. Then, Lin Fan released the sword and he gently turned his finger, and as if he were trying to deflower someone, his finger stroked Han Mengmeng's sword. Ding! A snapping sound rang out as Han Mengmeng's sword shattered and fell to the ground. Ding! Deflowering finger, experience plus 10. My sword. Han Mengmeng's expression changed upon seeing the shattered remains on the ground, her eyes turning a bit red as if she were in pain. Senior, don't get angry, we misjudged you. Please don't take what we said earlier to heart. Zhang Tianao hastily said. In the outside world, one shouldn't go against someone stronger than themselves. When one needed to concede, one should concede. Hurry up and apologize to Senior. Zhang Tianao hastily said. This person was able to block Han Mengmeng's sword with his bare hands, so his cultivation base was most likely very high, they must not anger him. Han Mengmeng looked at Lin Fan then at her sword and finally said a bit unwillingly. I'm sorry. ... No problem, our meeting must have been fate, hurry up and finish grilling the meat. After finishing, let's head off together. Lin Fan then sat down on a rock without any hesitation and motioned for the surrounding people to continue grilling the meat. Currently, Lin Fan was very happy. Who would have thought that after just leaving the sect, he would be able to effortlessly rob 2 paracelestials and then be recognized as a senior by a group of people. As expected, there were many wonderful things outside the sect. Zhang Tianao was relieved and then sat down next to Han Mengmeng. Although the person hadn't done anything excessively rude, he was still a bit worried at the moment. You guys are traveling with horses. Lin Fan saw a group of horses eating grass underneath a tree, so he asked curiously. Senior, those are perfume horses, a type of horse that can emit hormones. Using that, we can lure over male wild beasts. If the beast we lure over is too strong, we can just hide and not come out. Zhang Tianao replied truthfully. Ah, So the horse is bait. Lin Fan felt the animal was rather strange. Yes, perfume horses are quite common, so they are nothing valuable. Zhang Tianao said, what a mysterious animal. If you guys run out of food, you can even eat these. This was the first time Lin Fan saw this kind of a horse. Senior, the horse isn't edible. Because it's a perfume horse, even wild beasts have trouble swallowing it. Oh, is that right? Even beasts don't like them. Senior, the meat is ready.